reprieve for scoundrels. He's how I deal with scoundrels.
Okay, we're live on Twitch, not podcast, just so you guys know.
All right.
Okay.
Sam, go ahead and make your announcements.
What are my announcements?
Ours already. I don't know. You typically post it somewhere, don't you?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I did an ours already, so. I have a surprise for you guys though that I'm gonna ask you guys.
Ooh.
Because I was listening to a card podcast and they asked a question, and I was like, we've talked about it before as far as like the topic is resolved or revolving around MCP, not us specifically, but I was curious for your guys' takes on it.
Sorry, one more time.
We'll find out when it comes time.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, get some genuine reactions.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going like real trailer trash. I got a Twisted Tea and a Yin Lane tonight.
Ooh, nice. I have a White Russian that I'm finishing up, and then I've got beer.
Even on a White Russian kick, it's not even winter.
I like
What's wrong with White, dude? It's nice. Have you ever seen Big Lebowski? You just gotta drink them all the time.
No, I love White Russians, but it's like
I like a brown Russian personally.
They're just very much like a wintry drink for me.
Well, it was like 40 degrees here today, so
Once more,
It's
brown Russian.
it has been like very cold, like weird, because it was like 70 degrees last week, and this week it's like 40. Okay. So talking portraits. The Y's on the Hulk's finally gonna happen.
You should also Y me on Bill. I don't know if we did that already.
Two Y segments. Oh my goodness.
Well, here's the thing. It'll go very quickly because I'm very direct and blunt.
That's fair. Why? Because I said so.
Well, no, I'll just give you a straight up, like, if you say, like, why, so-and-so over so-and-so, why this good, I'll just very quickly rattle off why they're good and move on. Like, I think people are sleeping on the one below card right now.
You like this title? Portrait Party and Hulk's Invited?
Yeah. I don't hate it.
Hey, you need an odd number in your 4x4 roster.
It's true. You need one way to get to 17. Yeah.
Are you gonna swap it all? Are you gonna go back to Avengers, or are you gonna keep playing Asgard?
I'm playing Guardians right now.
Oh.
Yeah, just because it's the other Bill home.
That's fair. Well, at least you can give some good insights on Agent Venom, because I know nothing besides he just dies easy to my characters.
Who you playing?
X-Force.
Yeah, he dies pretty easy to X-Force, but
generally speaking, he's fine.
You don't play him into X-Force. You play him into like X-Men.
No,
yeah.
And when people do play, like, he does work. He's still into me, but it's like I have Psylocke and she just neuters him super hard.
The whatchamacallit though. I recently took Mark for Death out of my list, which is gonna hurt going into X heads, but the foreign assignment is really good.
Yes, I agree. Like that card, even in the X-Force, it's bonkers. I will say though, like I do like Agent Venom. I do like him a lot. It's just content. Let's just get the show on the road.
Yeah, let's just start it up.
All right. Okay, hitting the buttons.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Maximum effort. In this war, there's no surrender. He's out of line, but he's right. Who the hell is Bucky?
You don't like a fair fight.
I think you're wrong. Which part? All of it.
Think you're the only superhero in the world?
Touche.
I almost forgot to hit the button. All right, I got a kind of a crazy layout because Hyper's got a camera and I had to change everything around to fit him in here. So now he's got a bunch of like
Bill,
faces just everywhere. Oh yeah, Bill.
Yes. Oh, that's a lot of faces. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we got
You got Classic Strange and Psylocke up here too, and the Bog Tiger.
Bog Tiger's been there for a while.
This is sick.
We could probably get rid of the Bog Tiger.
No,
Bog Tiger's cool.
Tiger stays.
Okay, Tiger says. Maybe I should put Cable's face up there. I really should.
You probably should, yeah.
My
Cable
savior.
face.
Cable face. Anyways, welcome to the Rogue Agents podcast, where we will never do a proper introduction because we suck at it. And you are the listener. First of all, thank you to you guys for putting up with us every week. For those who listen to us.
Yeah, me every 3 weeks.
Yeah, thanks to you guys, the listeners, and the people hanging out in the Twitch chat, and our patrons. Don't ever think we forget about you, even though we're terrible. I don't know. We gotta say it like every single week, but we don't improve. Then I get to Sunday, and I'm like, oh crap, did I do anything? Nope, forgot all about it. Like, yes, Big Blake, I still owe you a T-shirt, and yes, March, I still need a roll for March.
It'll happen.
It'll happen probably this week. Actually, I have it on my calendar, so I will not forget. Anyways, let's get into it. Any big announcements over the past week? I don't think so. It's just Squirrel Girl picture and Gwenpool.
I mean,
I ain't gonna
the
lie.
announcement,
Okay,
right?
so like
I feel like I know what Squirrel Girl's gonna be, and I'm scared of it.
I don't know. My big takeaway is, and I want you to go and find the picture of Squirrel Girl real quick. Like, just go to the spoiler page and look at Squirrel Girl. And I'm gonna say something, and you guys probably just laugh and be like, "Oh my god!" Let me know when you're there. Okay.
Just like the picture
we're
of
good.
Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, the picture of Squirrel Girl's model.
Okay, I think I know what she is. Why?
Okay. Sam, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, listeners, I hope you're ready too. Squirrel Girl probably has the derpiest face I've ever seen on a figure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty bad. But like, she's kind of supposed to look derpy. Like Doreen is kind of just like a smiley face.
I know,
you
but like, I saw it and I was like, this is like the derpiest smile I've ever seen.
I like
on a
rocket
model.
jumping.
I don't hate it though. I don't hate the model, but like by far, it's just like I can't tell if it's like, does she have like one tooth?
I think that, I mean, some of it, I'm not saying anything about that paint job, but I feel like you're just going to paint that model and it's going to like look the way it looks.
That's fair.
Like,
Okay.
like I don't
But
know. Like, I want to see what it looks
Gwenpool.
like. Rogue was really a difficult face.
I agree.
For me to paint. Like her definition was all very strange. Like you can make a nice Rogue face, but man, that face is hard to paint. So
But Gwenpool's model looks amazing.
Dude,
I
the
love
rocket
it.
jumping, yeah, she's and like Jeff. That's the hidden gem for me.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see these stat cards for these characters. Maybe we'll get one of them this week.
I hope so.
Maybe.
I don't know.
hope so.
Do you think that Gwen's gonna have like a similar stat line to Deadpool? Let's have a hot
She's
take session.
okay.
She
She
doesn't heal. She doesn't have a healing.
Okay, so
Wild
let's
speculation session.
Sam, let's clear some air.
Okay.
Gwenpool has nothing to do with Deadpool other than the fact that her costume is similar and the name ends in pool. That's the only two similarities between.
Yeah,
the
she actually
Yeah,
well, that's
she's
like
not
part
Gwen
of
Stacy
her
either,
gimmick.
which is what I thought she was. I thought
No,
she
that's
was
part of
not
her
Gwen
gimmick is
Stacy.
that she knows like every character's secret identity, but she doesn't know anything about Deadpool because she doesn't like his books.
Yeah.
She's just never read his comic books. She's like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
What's your thing?" So she clearly, went into the comic book world back in 2005.
And then somebody else told me at some point in conversation about that like she's maybe a mutant and that none of that is actually true. That
No,
it's like reality
That's
warping, like,
nonsense. No,
mutant
she's
ability.
literally from our world. But
Yeah.
okay.
That's the story that I was familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so like her only superpower is the fact that she knows all the stuff about the comics.
Right.
So it's not really a superpower. It's just that she's a regular person. Like, imagine you got
So
teleported into a comic book. That is your superpower.
Yeah, her powers on Wikipedia are vast knowledge of the Marvel Universe, medium awareness and interaction, interdimensional travel, reality manipulation, use of extreme weaponry, and hand-to-hand combat.
Perfect. Yeah.
She's just like she's a Looney Tunes character,
Yeah. Like, the only reason that she knows how to use like the guns and everything like that is because she kind of got forced into it to survive. Like she's like, oh, I'm in a comic book world. I know how to use a gun, and
I should
then she
read her
got
comic
better
again.
at. It's they're fun. Like, they're really fun.
I'm reading through the Walt Simonson Thor run because
That's a good one.
Walt Simonson
long
loves
run.
Bill and created Bill as much as I do.
Yeah.
It's like 20 issues. It's not super long, but yeah, it's a lot.
It's a good one though. Okay. Moving on. Other announcements. Barncat won the Better Bill contest.
Oh yeah, he beat me clean.
There was a question last week when you weren't here: is who is the better Bill by Barncat? He asked that.
Oh, how funny.
Sam and I were both in your corner. We said we think Asgard has a leg up for Bill.
I mean, the thing is, like, Asgard might have a better Bill, but Guardians is a better team.
your build died.
Oh yeah, he got
compared to his
destroyed.
build.
Yeah. No, there's
So
no two
maybe
ways about it.
Guardians-
I did just straight up die. Like, I got fucked that game. Real talk.
Well, it just makes it brings up the
happens.
question though: is Guardians build better than Asgard build?
Having played a good bit of both, Super Odin's is legit. But the thing about Asgard Bill is he puts the entire team on his back. He has to be literally everything. And Guardians Bill actually has backup. So there's that.
And he's not having to do everything.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I can accept that. Any other
And who
announcements?
doesn't love winging it tokens?
True.
Wing it tokens with 4/4/3 and -1 is silly.
What's better, winning it tokens or Odin's Blessing?
I'd say wing it tokens, yeah, because it's every round. You can just make him so tough. And he's already super uninviting to attack. And also, it's a little bit of extra
You know what?
spice on his
Let's-
offense.
let's
'Cause
just
you
do
can
this now.
You can do 6-die reroll 4 with his blaster.
We're gonna get you your Y segment on Bill right now.
Okay,
why is
okay.
Bill better in Asgard or better in Guardians than Asgard?
The leader isn't 5-threat. The leadership for Asgard is really good, but
He's
it's
too good
just
at this
easier to
game
build
because
when you
he-
have 3-threat.
He
Okay.
answers it in a way that we can't just say why. Like,
No, I mean, that's exactly what the Y segment is actually supposed to be. We should be off topic in a heartbeat with it, right? Because now it's like, why does a 3-threat versus a 5-threat leader matter?
yeah, true.
Oh, because when you have a 3-threat leader, you have more list variety. Like you can't run anything higher than a 4 with a 5-threat leader and
Well,
still
not
go,
when
like,
you're
3 or
jamming
4 wide.
Hulk. Like, are you jamming Hulk? in
I
those
haven't
too?
played Hulk since LBO
Why?
Yeah, but like people,
because
But
I
no, but
played
like,
Hulk
no.
for like 2 years.
but real talk though,
Why?
most people love running Hulk in Guardians, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
if I'm running Hulk and Bill, kind of really counteracts the point that I'm taking a 3-threat leader for list.
Does it counteract that, or is it just opening that possibility up? Because I feel like
Why?
that's it's opening up the possibility there.
I don't know. What was the question? I'm really confused.
Basically, like if you're taking bigger characters like Hulk, like I know you're not right now, but like your argument is 3-threat, 5-threat, I can go wider or have more list variability. But you see so many people running Hulk or big characters in Guardians because they have the room to, whether it be like Gem Thanos or Hulk. Like aren't they kind of like stripping themselves of that advantage, or is it using the advantage?
Sorry, I'm replying to chat. People are saying Bill's overrated, and I have to tell them that they're wrong. You give me that really quickly, like just the meat and potatoes of that question, and I'll get into it.
Basically, like using higher threat characters, having the option to, is that an advantage or is it a disadvantage to list building with Guardians?
I think it's an advantage. I played the highest threat character I had was a 4 for most of my Guardians time, and then yesterday I slotted in a 7-threat character who will remain nameless for the next 5 minutes. And the option to go tall has been very nice. I will say that because if you can only go wide, there are lists that do very well into that. But if you can go either way, and you're not really sacrificing in versatility, that's also very scary.
Okay, so now back to the why part of this, and that is, if your argument for why Bill feels better in Guardians is because you have different options for list building, you're kind of putting yourself in the same construction as you would if you're playing in Asgard, because the points kind of even out.
I don't
the
think so.
characters, don't they?
Because like when you're building Asgard with Bill, you have a 9-point core. When you're building Asgard, or when you're building Bill with Guardians, you have a 7-point core, and those 2 points do make a huge difference, especially when you have 2 really good affiliated 2s.
Well, that two threats like Rocket or Nebula.
Exactly, 2 really good affiliated 2s.
So what is more impactful to a game, Thor or Star-Lord / Rocket?
That's not fair. Because it's not. If you phrase it just like that, Rocket and Nebula, or Star-Lord and a 2-threat for sure. But the leadership, Odin's Blessing, Rainbow Bridge, those are all very, very, very important, especially the leadership in Odin's.
But so is the leadership in Guardians, and so is
So realistically, it is just
little misfits.
Guardians. I mean, like we all know that, right? Like no one
Yeah.
plays Asgard for a reason. They're like, and I told this to Chewie after my game, like they are solidly mid-tier.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that. Like I'm glad I got them this far. Like a lot of people were like, dude, how the fuck did you get to cuts when you played unaffiliated Asgard and then you got to cuts, and that's enough. That's fine.
Okay, so but I guess let's answer this though. Like, why would somebody play Asgard over Guardians if they really want to play Bill?
I mean, you can play them at either place, but like Asgard is still fun. I'm not saying they're bad, and it is fun to play. Like, I think Guardians.
Let me interrupt you. Let me rephrase this. I want to win a tournament, but I really want to play Bill. But like, what is the argument for Asgard versus Guardians?
There's not an argument.
Yeah, if you really want to win, if you really want to win, you probably just play Guardians.
It's easier all day.
But okay,
just
so
play
now
Guardians. If you play
now to round
Asgard,
this, well, I just want to say, like, to round this out though, is like, is that a good place for the game to be in?
No, I think Thor needs to be changed.
Sam, what would you say?
Thor at 5 threat is a lot to ask. When I was playing Asgard, my comment was that I wish they had more modern characters, and they have more modern characters now. I think that Scourge and Bill especially like bring a lot to that team.
Yeah,
that they didn't have before. The saddest parts about Thor for me are that he just disappears sometimes, like both offense and defense. Like, from
do you guys think that this is like just like an outdated character compared to others?
Thor and Valkyrie, more so Thor, do feel outdated for sure. They feel like they were designed in a space where like the most specific thing I could think of is that R&D wasn't restricted.
Yeah.
Aside from that, Thor just like,
and Steve leadership was like
one
of
Thor
very
is
few options at the time.
Agreed. Valkyrie, like I said, this is more about Thor than Valkyrie.
Yeah.
But Thor, he's 4-4-3 with no defensive tech. He's 6'8", which isn't bad, but you're really leaning on health at that point, and doesn't have enough health for that to really work.
Yeah.
So I know, like, this really isn't like our thing to like go down like this type of rabbit hole. I don't want to stay down here too long, but it's like, I think it's actually a worthwhile conversation to kind of look at it when you're saying, I really want to play Bill. My affiliated options are Asgard or Guardians. And it's almost kind of like, why bother with Asgard from the person who made it to cuts with Asgard?
Because they're fun.
Well, but some of that is like, he made it to the cut with Asgard. So like,
like they're playable.
Accomplished, right?
No, it's not that they're not playable. It's also like Super Odin's is probably the most fun thing to have in the game, where you can say you can hit me for 50 damage and I take 0. That's really fucking fun. Is it like good? No, but it's cool.
Yeah, but I guess where I'm trying to get at is we're saying that because of like this comparison, like it kind of makes certain things in the game not feel like it's in a good spot. And I would say the same thing with X-Force, because kind of like Cable and Thor, I think exist in a very similar spot.
Completely agree.
But we're also trying to be like, I don't want to say copium or anything like that, but like we do kind of a lot of times kind of portray that where it's like, hey, the grass is greener over here. Come listen to us.
I have a strong opinion on Asgard. And I don't know.
I think we both do, yeah.
Hyper and I play them differently. And my approach with Asgard is I feel like Asgard's in a similar spot to Hulk before the changes as like his character to like the affiliation. Because Hulk was really good at a certain game plan. And the problem with that game plan is that it didn't really feel like Hulk. I don't feel like Asgard feels off theme, but I do think that the like F extract flip secure game for the Asgardians is one of their best modes, and you basically have to run Toad and Lizard, and now I think Bill helps even more with that. So I think that they have some very strong options to play a very specific game plan. But if you don't like that game plan, or if people in your meta are already teched for it, like that, like hardcore flip secure F extract game plan is very aggressive. It can score points very quickly, and you just wind up with games that just finish before everything falls apart. The tower defense strategy is something that really wasn't an option when I was playing those like super extract focused Asgard teams. And man, every time you lose prio, you play on your Fs. It sucks, but like you do have to fight a little bit to get those things back. I just think that Asgard has very specific plays and very specific plans, and that's great. It makes you feel like you're playing like the Asgardians in the Olympics or something, because you're just trying to score out points. But you're really limited in that approach. And then
that is a issue as well.
So I think a fair statement to make is, number one, like we're talking in terms of strict, like I want to go to a competition, I want to win. Like you're gonna have your clear cut and dry. Like this is obviously better than this with these options. But I think the biggest thing to also look at is AMG has strictly said that like we're not trying to make this a competitive game. But the thing is like
right,
I think
strike that from the record.
I think
I don't know about that.
But let's be real. Let's be real. Like us as the players made it a competitive game. Like we can't deny that one bit. Especially like us all involved with like TTS leagues and all that. We probably like shoehorned it into a competitive corner. But like I think my point here is a lot of this was designed, especially back in those days, with like, hey, let's have fun with this. We're gonna create kooky interactions and characters and have a fun game. And also like I think the biggest thing is like I would agree. I think Thor is outdated, so I would agree Cable is outdated, and there's a couple other characters.
Yeah. What if Thor's a little slow? Like I feel like Thor's fine in a world where we're eyeing each other down for the entire first turn, and advanced R&D is just something I can have in my roster. And like he's way better in that environment, I think, than he is
in this fast-paced game right
now. Like it's not a speed slow. It's just like the character himself is just slow for the pace of the game right now.
But then I think we kind of touched on that before. I know I've talked about it as like the game's gonna need to grow eventually, which kind of like alludes to the fact that like if they want to keep this box to be a SKU, they're gonna have to do something with the character card. Otherwise, it'll be truly outdated and nobody would buy it. But I think the thing to look at is the fact that Hyper Viper made it to cuts, and you made it to round 2?
Or no, it was round 1.
Yeah. It was round 1. But like the fact that you made it to cuts of TTS, which is like hundreds of players, all this, and the fact that you made it there, it shows that you can play a team that is like almost unanimously like Guardians or Asgard go Guardians when you're playing competitive, and you still made it to cuts. I think that's something to speak of itself, to say, hey, like maybe the game's not really in a bad spot. When you look at these types of comparisons, like don't look at it like, hey, like this is bad. Look at like, hey, this is a challenge. It can be done.
It's like I feel like this game is like any given Sunday kind of stuff. Like any roster can beat any other roster in any given game. But at the same time, it's not like there are advantaged things out there that you can leverage, and there's good play strategies that you can leverage. And if you can combine those two, then like you're in a really good spot. If you only have like one of those on your side, or one and then not as good as other stuff, like if everything's 80%, like sure you can walk into any game, but then there's also going to be some close games that you're just like, crap, I lost because of my disadvantages. Like
but I am kind of curious though, because like what I do love about this game is we see these top tables. There's still quite a bit of diversity. It's not like completely homogeneous. Which I think speaks to how good the development and design of the game is, to where you do have these things that I could take Asgard to make it to like these high level games.
I also want to say about Asgard. I'm not sure if you guys are ever fighting game players, but I use this analogy with Chewie because he is another like former Marvel player. The best characters in any fighting game, like in Smash Bros. Or in Versus or in Street Fighter, are those that have both really good advantage and really good disadvantage states. So like when you're at an advantage, like they can put a lot of pressure on, and when you're on your back foot, they have defensive options to get out of it.
Yeah.
This game's the same way. Any competitive combat oriented thing, I think fighting someone else is the same way. So like I think Asgard has incredibly good matchups.
Yeah.
They're really good advantage states. They don't have very good disadvantage states.
I would say any competitive game, really, because I was having a conversation with somebody today about like Flesh and Blood, where it's like you look at a character and how they determine they're good is like, what can my opponent do to stop me from doing what I want to do? And if they can hardly do anything, that makes it a good character. If they can do everything to stop me, then I'm going to struggle. So it's really like, what's the impact you have on what your shtick is almost. It's like what's Asgard's shtick? And that's like having extra power, Odin's blessing. But there's definitely ways around both of those things.
Yeah.
Where you have something like Sam and Avengers, where his leadership just happens. You playing the game gives him a benefit. I think that's actually a really good like way to look at power level of certain things. Like you playing the game into Sam, playing the game into Malekith. Both of those leaderships are very much like you play the game, you're giving the other player an advantage almost.
Well, Mal's like a reward for playing a very specific facet of the game.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good leadership.
Okay.
It's also cool to like you because the benefit for bringing splash characters in Asgard is they can heal themselves every once in a while.
Yeah.
The benefit of bringing splash characters into Guardians is you can bring some heat and give them rerolls, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody likes rerolls.
So, I feel like
Scoring very fast is what I think Asgardians shtick is.
I agree. And there are some games where you just can't do that. I think like I said, like there are really good matchups and there are really bad matchups, whereas Guardians are just like kind of good at everything. Or you know, that's just like the wide versus tall debate in general. When you have a high threat leader, you're good at some stuff, bad at other things. When you have a low threat leader, you can probably do everything.
okay, bring this back around. Why should I play Bill?
Why should you play Bill? He's tough as fuck. He's one of the most punishing characters in the game to attack because he has aggressive or he has honor bound. He has damage reduction. He's very good at controlling how much damage he takes, and he has a throw. He can do a lot of good stuff with power. He's extremely fast, and if you attack him, he moves towards you, which gives him better action economy.
Okay. Sam, you have anything else to add to this?
Why you should play Bill? Are we just going to go into 4 threats from here? Just like ask the same question for all of them?
We got probably. Oh, boy. All right, so we're gonna be here for 6 hours.
Bill's really good. Out of the size 4 throw, bringing a size 2 that can throw size 4 things is awesome.
Yeah,
because it doesn't it's
man,
danger without the liability.
It trips me up so much though, because people are like, and I'm gonna throw a Bill. I'm like, you can't. They're like, yes, I can. Like he's size 3. Like no, he's size 2. I'm like, God damn it, I do this. I do this every game. Like I do it every game where it's like, no, Bill is size 2.
I mean, it's fine. He's so fucking fast. Like you just activate him last almost of the time.
And he's thick.
It's so hard to put pressure on him. Yeah.
Like he's a thick boy.
And the aggressive. So like even if like once you're in position,
you're honor bound.
Sorry, honor bound.
Yeah, that's right. I apologize.
Is he bound by honor though? Because he's kind of like.
Yeah, finish that sentence, Dyzard. Come on, finish that.
Well, I don't know. Like, is he really bound by honor?
Literally, yes.
Literally, no. He's a robot. He has no emotions.
He's not a robot.
Yes, he is. He's a cyborg.
Okay, so Cyborg from Teen Titans is a robot, you racist? Is that what I'm hearing?
Why?
Why? Cyborg, by definition, means half human, half robot.
No, he's not half a human, though. So he's not even
half
a cyborg.
Corbinite. Actually, he's not even half Corbinite. He's half alien horse wolf predator that his soul was transferred into.
He was not a horse wolf thing until after he was made a robot.
Yes, he was a Corbinite, and then they put his body into a horse wolf predator cyborg that they made to protect them while they flew in space, because they all look like Krillin.
Noseless,
but does he howl?
Faceless people.
Mm-hmm. Does he what?
He doesn't. Does he howl?
I believe he has howled. You know what else he does with that mouth? Is he eats, or he doesn't eat, but he rips apart Heralds of Galactus.
Nice. Okay. Sam, what are you drinking? Hot takes, cold drinks.
Tonight's beer is Bebo, a Pilsner from Athens, Georgia. Creature Comforts Brewery.
I got Ealing and a Twisted Tea because that's all I had in the fridge. Also very niche OnlyFans. Fair enough. All right. Do we just want to move on to? We're talking about four threads and how crazy they are in the game now, because it's like, who do you want to move to next? Who's? I just
want to bring it up real quick. It used to be like four threads were in this weird spot. I remember talking to Pat like 2 TTS seasons ago, and he was like, "I really like the only four I want." This was like pre-Voodoo. Was like the only four thread he was considering was Steve and Vision. Those are the only two, and because they were at that point, the peak of the game. But he was like, there's so much more value in 3 threads. But yeah, Psylocke and Logan. Let's talk about the X-heads.
Well, to be fair, like we were talking last week, where it was like you kind of like have these streams of like which 4 threats were like the best. But it was like you had the Medusa Enchantress, and then you had Voodoo and Rogue, and now it's like I have so many to choose
like 6,
from. Yeah. So you see, you want to do Psylocke next?
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on. Ready? Why should I play Psylocke?
Because she is amazing.
He's hot.
Now we both said it.
Honestly, because she's probably one of the more mobile 4 threats outside of Panther.
Okay.
She has a wicked output. Like just
how is she medium? Why is she medium? Or why is she mobile? Explain.
Because with honestly, you could do it with no power as long as she has somebody to attack and she does 2 damage.
Well, just one hit.
Yeah, like that's cool.
I've
Like
played enough Angela
Yeah,
to
she
know
has
that
the
sometimes you don't
it's still
get the hit.
Angela, right?
yeah, but you have a
It's
you
not
have a
automatic.
reroll. You have a reroll if you're playing X-Force, which is the best place to play her.
Fair.
No, it's not. It is not.
But anyways, if you have 2 power on her, even if you don't attack, I don't know if you know this, but her telekinetic combat efficiency, the one that lets her move short, isn't an action. So she can literally move medium, and then pay 2 power to move short.
That is cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not an action. In case you didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's probably still not as fast as 2 long moves, but okay.
That's what I said. I said outside of Panther, she's one of the most mobile 4 threats.
Gotcha. Oh, can't he hop? He can do his all pounce too.
Yeah, because Panther
Well, I
moves
mean,
long, and then pounce.
she does stab him pretty
Zemo's
well
up
though with
there.
her magical katana. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the thing that she has though, she has an amazing output for very low cost because you could literally start her round with or her turn with 1 power and be able to shoot across the board, or not really shoot across the board, but be able to like shoot towards who you need to shoot towards and have a really good chance of like 1 rounding a character. Like most characters, she can 1 round because she's gonna be throwing a 7-die energy mystic and probably another 7-die energy mystic with possible rerolls because that her spender is only 3 power. So it's like 7 attack energy mystic, you're probably gonna be able to generate 3 power off of.
Right.
To be able to do the spender into, so you have a chance to be throwing 14 dice into the weakest defense and have rerolls on top of it if you have power. Barkas is Gamora as a speed queen. I won't disagree. Like I said, she's up there for most mobile fortress. She's not the most mobile, but she's up
She's
there.
exactly the same as Panther.
So that's a lot of output, but that's all dice.
It is.
She's got, her
But she
own
also has her
rerolls.
own dice fixing.
Uh-huh.
So she fixes that issue of it being just dice.
And that's a lot of power to spend, but
It is, but the fact that she
Yeah,
can
I
spend
think like
literally,
she has her
she
crazy
can,
turn after
she
she
can
flips, right?
literally spend 8 power if you wanted to reroll 8 dice.
mm-hmm.
Like
That is cool.
Who else can do that besides MODOK, which is a 5 threat?
MODOK.
So besides MODOK. But like the biggest thing about it is like she has.
He's down on her. Excuse me, down on him on
But
dice
I-
fixing.
I-
I am
but the
not
thing-
down on Psylocke. I just
I think the thing about her though is like she has like an insane amount of output, and she's very much typically like a point and kill character. Yeah, your dice will still whiff, but like that is what she does. Is she just removes models.
so she's like 4-threat Zemo in some ways. Like, hits
I
a
would
ton
say
harder.
she's a energy/mystic Logan.
Energy Mystic Logan. Wow. Okay, so just
That's a really hard comparison to make. Logan's crazy.
Okay, so tell me, Logan rolls 5 dice. Like she's rolling typically 2 7-dice attacks.
yeah.
So
yeah,
he
but
rolls-
has-
He has
That's
2 rerolls and
He'll do
Pierce.
right. but
he'll
that's
do-
the Pierce.
he'll do
The
a-
Pierce is different.
Yeah, the Pierce is
Pierce
what
is
makes
really
it
good.
different. But like you're trading the difference of like you're piercing 1 into the highest defense to you're rolling the same amount of dice into the lowest defense.
That's fair. And Mystic usually doesn't have counts blanks like outside of Emma. Like
And then you're
I was
also
really hoping that
affecting
Psylocke would have Pierce.
you're also affecting the power economy of your opponent by more than likely hitting those walls to sap power
interesting.
or psychic disruption, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's interesting that she doesn't sap. She just kills, which is still good.
But like I just when I think of Psylocke, I think of she's like your energy mystic like damage dealer. If I need somebody to do energy or mystic damage to my list, you should probably be reaching for Psylocke if you have the room for a 4 threat.
Energy Mystic is good space.
Yeah.
It is, and she does have dice fixing. I don't hate what you're saying.
Yeah, but like, I don't think he's a splash everywhere because not everybody can fit a 4 threat because they're already reaching for another 4 threat that's doing something different. But if you need like I think X-Force is like my biggest thing. For the longest time with X-Force, I was like, I wish I had an affiliated character that could do mystic damage, and now I have it, and it's one of the most efficient mystic damage dealers out of 4 threat.
She's just
Her
X-Men
Mystic
X-Force.
card is also really good. I like that
Yeah.
one a lot. The card
The,
that makes the full rerolls on Mystic Attack.
Okay, so that card's really, really good, but it's also super situational.
Oh, for sure. But that's
Both of the cards are really. But like, if I was to like make one solid comparison of what Psylocke does in a game, it like to me, she is a energy/mystic Logan because that's what I do. I run Logan on one flank and run her on the other flank, and it's very comparable to what they're doing.
Wow.
And it's extremely devastating. It's rude. Like it is very rude.
No, that's a good perspective. The 7-die like example is solid. I think she's scary. I think that at 4 threat, if you're bringing her and Logan, so she's just X-Men and X-Force affiliated, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Barncat says, I'm considering Psylocke over Rogue, but I don't know if I can ever move away from mutant absorption and size 4 throws. And that's the biggest thing is, do you need the throw? If you're playing Guardians, I'd argue if you're playing like Bill, you probably don't need another throw. The mutant absorption you get in the builder is not as effective and it's used slightly different. But it's like, do you need mystic damage more than you need a throw? Is the question you need to be asking yourself.
It's also how often are you really playing? Because that's the one thing I saw in your list I was kind of confused about. Like, how often are you really playing Rogue and Bill, right? Because I don't think you ever reach for Rogue over Bill. Always more throws is true. Throws are the best mechanic in the game.
You're not wrong, but it's like if I have a meta where Panther and Steve are running rampant, I'm taking Psylocke over Rogue 100%.
Oh, I hear you. But I also know that Rogue does fuck up Black Panther.
That's fair. I won't deny that because she just throws shit into him and mutant absorption hymns and like they're both good. And I just think they're both doing different things. To be completely honest, because Rogue is more generalistic and Psylocke is more I'm an assassin.
Yeah. So, show me you're making a tier list without making a tier list. Where does
I have that tab open. I'm not doing it right now, but I've had that tab open since someone posted it. I want to do a tier list video again.
So somebody posted a tier list the other day that like is ready made. We can put it in the notes. Like we're not a tier list show, but things are fun. So I want to put my roster into the tier list, and that's it. And just make it all S tier, and then just be like 3 other characters in A, and then be like, the two fair. Characters that I
then you just play Hellfire Club.
Considering, yeah. So that's funny. I've actually been thinking about Hellfire Club.
Should we just roll right into Emma?
No, I think Logan's the cleanup here, right? So we go from Bill. Bill's the lead off, right? And then Psylocke, she's gonna like knock Bill over, like get on base herself.
Okay,
right?
but okay. So I will also say just real quick before we move on from Psylocke. Psylocke is also very much anti everything else that's a struggle point in the game. Like Red Skull.
Hulk. That's such a great tool against Red Skull, being able to switch those attack types.
She's amazing into Red Skull. I think she's actually really good into Hulk, especially if you're pairing her up with Logan. You can very consistently take one round of Hulk. Immortal Hulk, not so much. When you're taking Logan and Psylocke into Hulk, don't look at me.
Wait, how are you one rounding a Hulk?
With Logan and Psylocke.
What, with like a follow me turn or something? I still don't see that happening very often.
No, because Logan's pumping damage and then she's pumping damage.
Yeah, but you can't do it all at once. If you put Hulk on 10 damage, it just kills the other person.
Does he though? Logan has exceptional. Good luck.
Okay. You punch him twice and throw him.
It happens. Okay.
No, I know it does. Believe me, I know. I know how annoying exceptional is when you're playing like 7 threat characters. I know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But no, I that's been like my answer for Hulk lately is just run Psylocke and Logan into him and to take him out as fast as I can, and it typically happens in like one round of effort.
It's okay. So on the Psylocke front still, are you running her healing card, her healing factor injured card?
So I prefer Crimson Dawn, which is the healing factor card, to the Psionic Constructs, because I think Psionic Constructs is completely dependent on your roster construction.
Right.
If you're taking like Sabretooth or somebody who has an attack that has a lot of triggers, like let's say Strange, Super Giant, like somebody who has like a really like crazy trigger, or even just Sabretooth.
Crimson Dawn is such a disincentive to attack Psylocke.
It is. But here's the thing though, is I am now taking one tactic card that says, I dare you to kill this model. And like I'm okay with that if you're not gonna do anything, because Psylocke is so self-sufficient that she doesn't need you to attack her for her to do what she needs to do.
You're also running a card that's like you have to overcommit if you want to KO this model.
Yes. And it's what's real funny is like I've learned like where not to play it, but I do think like that card is like the better of the two, because one, like you said, it either incentivizes my opponent to not attack her at all.
Right.
Or they try to kill her super early, which makes that card even more worth than it already was.
Right.
And now she's way more mobile and harder to kill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Like it's like I think Crimson Dawn is well worth it to take in your list if you're playing Psylocke, because it's like a two-faced card and it creates questions for your opponent, where Psionic Constructs is more like Recal, where it's like insurance.
Hot diggity.
Are you thinking Psylocke is overtuned or in a good spot and fun to play? I think Psylocke's like in a perfect spot. I don't think she needs to be changed at all.
Yeah,
Like,
I think she's fine as well.
I don't
She's
like.
perfectly
She's
balanced.
got very like obvious weaknesses. Like just throw shit into her. Like you can't do nothing against that. Like she's just gonna crumble the throws. Or take somebody like Domino into her, like your normal healing factor people. Like just take Domino or a rapid fire character into her.
Well, that's the thing is why. I mean, I know you're playing X-Force forever, but in X-Men, she either has martial artist or cover, which is sick.
Mm-hmm.
So besides throws, like she's pretty tough.
Yeah, throws are by far her biggest weakness.
That's like half the characters in this game, though.
True.
And like that's why Brace exists.
True.
All right, so the downside of Psylocke is that she doesn't have any displacement. The upside is that there's
She hits
no
hard.
control like attrition. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no control like attrition. I like that. And she attrition's hard.
All right.
No,
so,
I will just end with this on Psylocke.
Okay.
I know I'm like she's like by far like my super pet character now. But like
good.
she
That's a good
is
spot for her to be.
she is very much like I said before, she's a point and kill model. Like she's like
Okay.
if you say I want to take out that model with Psylocke, as long as it's like a reasonable model. Like I'm not saying like I want Psylocke to single-handedly take out Hulk. No, that's like unrealistic. But like Psylocke is pointed at Logan. Like he's probably taking Logan out that round. Or a Red Skull.
Oh yeah, especially like Logan. Logan with the
Yeah.
2 defense, he's gonna not have a good time.
Skull. Like you got to be like very like he's an assassin. Like set up her kills. Don't just like think she can kill the world.
Fair enough. All right.
Okay, let's move on. What's next?
Logan batting cleanup. Why should it be
Logan is the cleaner when it comes
Yeah.
to this game. Like yeah.
He is.
Oh man,
He is the best at what he does.
he is the best at
We
what anybody
define
does.
cleaner.
Killing everything in sight.
And yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that beam is pretty nasty. I'll give you that.
That beam. Okay. If anybody is overtuned right now, it's probably Logan.
I agree with
because
that. Honestly, he's crazy.
I think the beam is too good. But everything else on his card, I would say is fine. But his beam, the
No,
fact that you can make a builder attack and line up the perfect beam off of your builder and get the power for your builder, which you're more than likely getting because you're probably getting rerolls and you have Pierce, and you probably only need to get 2 powers off of it anyway. So it's very high odds you're getting exactly what you need. And then placing yourself in a spot that you could line yourself up with 2 to 3 characters almost every single time.
Okay, so the thing about Logan is not just that. It's also that he can solo just about anything in the game, just himself.
Yeah.
Between exceptional healing and just what he's bringing to the table.
Yeah.
He's a
Any
1v1
model
boy
of
for
equal
sure.
or lesser threat, right? Any model of
Yeah.
equal or lesser threat, he is going to take down, and he can hit outside of his weight class too. So it's
100%.
limited there.
And it's very much like
So
that's
you
what
have
I
to bring more against him, which
Yeah.
basically means that if I came in here and I slaughtered your dude, and then you decided to like bring me more, it's just like I'm powered up and ready for the beam, or I'm about to be. And now I'm not just soloing one dude on your team, I'm soloing like the whole damn team on.
And I think to top it all off, the little cherry on this little pie that you built, right, is the fact that he doesn't have to alpha strike to get all of this. He can literally sit and wait for you to do whatever you want, and then he does what he wants regardless of your positioning because he just is so mobile.
Yeah, the healing factor is really rough for him because it's like if you don't kill him, you've just powered him up, and even if you leave him on 1, he's still gonna be at half health by the end of his turn, right? Unless he's bleeding. Logan is really strong. I think like in terms of like a 1v1 character, like Sam said, there really isn't much consideration for anyone else. I think like there are dudes like maybe Bill or like Panther or like Iron Fist or something who can survive an activation from him. But that's honestly like there are times where that still just doesn't happen.
And that's not who you're going to line Logan up on. Like you, like that the Count's Blanks person isn't.
Oh
who I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
line
yeah.
up my Logan to go
You
into.
put Logan on the other side. You put Logan where he can go ham and like
Yeah.
kill a bunch of 2s or like a 3 threat over here and there. Yeah,
Oh,
he's on the
man.
hunt.
Yeah, he is. He is absolutely. And so the other thing about Logan is that like the range 3 place means he's never moving. He's like very rarely has to waste an activation moving. And with gotta get
Very
some
efficient.
air, you're just like you can set up other people that were going to move somewhere anyway and set him off.
Yeah, it is like after turn 1, he just attacks every single turn twice.
Pretty much. Yep. And it's so fun to play. He's one of the most fun characters I've ever played in this game. just because
pretty
of
fun.
how active he gets to be. Like,
Now, my question to you guys on this is: we keep saying like how amazing he is. Like, is he too far? Is there a too far?
He's probably a little. He probably needs a little bit of a nerf. I think that maybe the beam going down to like 6 dice or something like that could be nice. He's really good right now.
I say
it's
let
fine.
Logan win. Like,
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know.
We've had a bad
favorite.
Wolverine for so long. We can let Wolverine
Right.
be good.
We got Hulk and we've got Wolverine. If those are like the two Wolverine, like these characters are the two characters you point to in the game, you're like, these guys might be overtuned. I feel like I'm okay with that.
It's
Okay,
a
but,
Marvel
like,
game,
okay,
right?
so let me ask you this, because I know somebody asked this the other day in the X Force Discord, and it was, is Logan worth the premium? And like,
With
do you think?
$100?
Yeah, like for the price point.
All right, so for our 4 threat,
I think that's a bad way to think about it.
our 4 threat batting order. I've got Twooth coming up in the cleanup spot, right? Because I feel like he comes up right in the same conversation right now. So
He's
I
also
think
extremely good. Yeah.
I'm sad that there is a premium. I'm even sadder that there's a premium discussion. But like,
Well, I think the best advice for it is like, I don't think there's many places where you're going to be playing Logan and Apex. So find somebody to split the box with. It's probably like the best call for anybody who like wants to play one or the other. If you're a collector and you got to catch them all, like you're going to buy it anyways, regardless of the price.
yeah, and you can split that box 3 ways, right? Because there's dudes out there that are just like, yeah, I want that bunker, but I don't want to pay $70 for it. You're like, dude, like, okay, like I got $22. Do you have $22? Let's go get this thing. And
I don't know where I put my bunker. I need to build that.
now you've got
but it's very much like it's very rare that you're going to find a list where you want to run both Apex and Logan.
like,
So
if
find
you're wanting
somebody
to
who
run
wants the
Weapon
other.
X, like
That's it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's cool to play both. They're fun together.
I agree. I won't deny that. Like Weapon X is super fun, and I love playing them both. But let's move on to Apex.
all right.
Apex
got to
has
get some
way
air
easier
must have
counterplay.
before we move on. It's
Oh,
got to get some
yeah.
air
If you're
must
playing Logan without Gotta Get Some Air, you're not playing Logan.
Okay.
I disagree. I think Gotta Get Some Air is a phenomenal card, but it's also like if I could find a reason for something else, I'm gonna take something else over it, which is it's like the last to get cut for me because I love Gotta Get Some Air because I also think I'm gonna go down a little another tangent here, right?
Sure.
What I don't understand is why people get so sucked down the aggressive path of Gotta Get Some Air because it is also very much a defensive card. I can
Amen.
round 1, double move Logan, grab a center point, and now he is effectively has a safe grab where I can medium move back towards my team.
You have to
Not
as
got to
good.
get
Okay,
some air
but
for the first
hear me out. What's the one?
I
What's
got one
the,
before we're done.
what is the one thing that people often do when you put someone on the middle? Is it maybe, just maybe, use Mystique to pull them out you can't react to?
Yeah, but Mystique's kind of gone down, I've noticed. I see less people using Mystique.
What are
lately.
you? Oh,
I'm
my
not
God.
suggesting you're using this to get Logan on the midline in a place in a game against Mystique.
No.
We've already talked
I
about how I don't want to line him up against Count's blanks.
True. But Mystique can get to him anywhere, like from deployment. She'll be centerline deployed, and she'll be able to double move and deception.
That's
Logan.
fine. I love it. It's a theme win that Mystique is like a difficult
is everywhere.
nut to
I
crack
agree.
for Logan, like
Yeah.
as a character. That's awesome.
But-
that's theme right there.
But it's very much like I do think Gotta Get Some Air is great, but I don't think it's a must take. I think it's wonderful to use both ways, either offensively or defensively. But I'm not currently playing it in my list. I want to make room for it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I want
It's
the
not
card.
in your list.
And every game, I'm like, I wish I had Gotta Get Some Air. But I value Crimson Dawn over Gotta Get Some Air for what
Wow.
I'm trying to do.
Maybe. Okay. I think that the first time you fall back into Gotta Get Some Air, it feels like such an amazing win.
Fair.
To just like completely reposition your team on their turn because they were trying to play the game.
Yeah, but you're used to that with Thanos. Like, you get to reposition everybody.
That's why I
anyways.
love stuff like that
Yeah,
so
but
much.
Mystique is 3 threat. She costs 3.
Yeah.
She
Alright.
costs the 2.5 less than Thanos. She is 1/3 Thanos cost.
All right, let's move on to Apex.
All right. Apex.
He's easier to shut down than Logan, but when he gets going, he is so fun.
I think if you can rob him of power generation or just like throw him out and not do damage to him, he's kind of like a limp noodle, right?
That's why you use
Um,
Root Slow and throw into a corner.
Yeah.
Pyro.
Like you said, he's easier to take care of than Logan. But however, that one time where you daze him, he is now coming back for vengeance, and he's a train that does not stop moving.
If he days Apex is pretty sad. But if he days Logan double beams you and kills your whole team because he has Prio. But I mean, Apex can do something similar too, right? You'll throw out an 8-die attack, you'll gain some more power, you'll spend with somebody, you'll pounce, you'll throw. He has a lot of stuff to do with power too.
I'm very much less on Apex than I am Logan. I think Logan's just generally better.
He's a home run
You're
hitter,
probably right.
Logan's consistent. That's why he's the number 3 in our lineup here.
Yeah.
Right? He just
Just
be
to confirm,
consistent.
Bill is number 1,
Knock it
right?
home. Bill's our
That's
leadoff
what I-
hitter. He's our leadoff.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's what we're saying.
That's
that
who gets on base.
means Bill's the worst because he's just getting to first base. And that's all his work is.
No. That's not
Ooh.
the other thing. It means that he's going to get on base. He's going to take
fair.
it. Like,
And Psylocke-
Bill is going to get on base. Yeah.
Psylocke is the RBI,
Yep. And her job is to hit him in. And then
and Logan's a home runner.
no, Logan's job is to knock the other 2 guys in. It's Sabretooth's job to hit the home run. The cleanup hitter is the dude you bring in to knock everybody home. Because if the other 3 guys just get on base, his job is to hit the grand slam.
So I'm gonna skip a turn here, and why don't I just take these 3 characters with Emma?
Well, you mean 4? These four characters with Emma?
One,
Bill,
2, 3.
Psylocke,
Yeah.
Logan.
Let me look
two.
at Hellfire Club.
Emma.
Hold on.
That's
There you go,
20.
20.
That's 20.
Why don't you?
Because I so I
This is the
do
fourth
actually
Renaissance.
I do actually minus Sabretooth because I don't have Apex on my list, but I do the other 3. So yes.
Who's the last 4 to come in at 20?
I take Skull because I'm evil.
That's too many points, though.
No, but I don't take all of them at the same time. But like my list has
boring.
Bill, Psylocke, Logan, Skull, Emma. I've got freaking 4 threats.
So wait, let me just get this straight. If you're playing like 9 characters, they would all gain power, all heal, and then whoever doesn't would give Emma power and heal.
Correct.
Well, it's whoever's scoring.
Wait, okay, yeah. So if you
I
are,
get that.
if
I
you
understand.
are,
I'm just like
okay.
that's a lot of effects happening all at
It
once.
is.
Oh,
That's a lot of
it's very much, and the best part is Honey Badger will always give Emma a power and a health,
and Nebula too. Yeah.
and then Honey Badger just heals it back, and so does Nebula for that matter.
yeah. Okay. Wow. So we should be running.
I love the leadership. It's so
should
much
be running.
fun.
Well, you could run 8. You could run 9 characters at 20. You could just run
All
8
the 2 threats.
8 twos and Emma. That's
So,
sick.
bring in
Steven-
like a Fury though. Bring in Fury so that you've got like.
No,
Steven-
I
a
think
little more
8
beef.
twos is the right play.
Steven Swayze and I were actually talking about this. Like, could you just like run all the 2s that can score,
I think you should.
and Emma, and like have a viable list? But we kind of like I think we came to the conclusion that you need like something like Fury or
Why?
or
You
even Red
you
Skull.
You need something that's going to stick around just a little bit longer. Than
Well, you'll stick
just
around because there are
everyone
9 of you.
Yeah, but like when like Mal's
Not when you
literally
run
just,
into a
like,
Logan
like,
beam.
like, days,
Like-
yeah, and then a beam like something like you're just like losing characters left and right. Like I've played some super wide stuff and
Oh,
you can
like
get
the-
like way up on points.
Yeah,
You can do
the
crazy stuff, but
The fun
But then you
thing
start
that you
dying.
could do is you get Helios on round 2 for like 20 something dice.
Oh my god, that's so true. Just by being alive, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to Apex. Let's get back on
home run
tracks.
hitter, right? So this is a cleanup spot, and I feel like
Yeah.
he's hit or miss, right? Because your cleanup hitter is also probably like your strikeout king because he's swinging.
Yeah,
for
if
the
you don't
fences
get
all
it,
the time.
you did nothing,
Yeah.
right?
So I will say, like, like when I was playing Weapon X and trying to play Apex, like he's very much that. Like he either has an amazing game or he has a game where he felt like old Sabretooth, where he just sat on a point and scored 2 VPs every round.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad, right?
No, it's not terrible, but it's like when I'm playing a character that is supposed to be like super threatening and killing, I want more out of him than just scoring VPs. Like I could do that with any character.
It's funny that we're mentioning scoring as like a facet in this conversation because if like the question is, like the home run hitter is the guy who scores the most points or whatever, right?
Mhm.
That's Bill. Because what Bill does for me a lot of the time is he hangs out, just kind of like pops people some hits if he needs to, and then comes in like the last round and throws like a monster off of a point. He scores me 4 VPs and I win the game.
That's your lead
He's-
hitter. That's what you're asking that guy to do.
You want him to get on base. Like you don't care if he gets a single, double, or triple. He's getting on a base.
His job is to get to third by the time
Just
Logan's
being
at
like
bat.
just consistently doing his job.
Yeah,
I don't
just
fucking understand baseball.
Okay. So yes.
It's
So
cool.
that's exactly what it is. Is like you want him to be your leader, like your leadoff hitter, because you know that person will get on base, which means you have the highest chance of scoring more points because your follow-up hitter is going to push him forward, and then your follow-up hitter to that is going to push him forward.
He's your consistent guy.
Yeah, or he's gonna steal. Like he's gonna steal the base, like not like stealing the game. But
God, baseball season, Sam. Like,
I'm not even that big of a baseball like fan anymore. Man, but I grew up with it, and so
I grew up with baseball. I grew up playing baseball, but I haven't paid attention to baseball since the Mariners were decent, and that's been like 15 years.
Fair enough. Yeah, Bo Jackson was my hero when I was a kid.
Go M's. Farncard, are you a Mariners fan, or are those the Marlins?
Probably
the Marvels.
No, he's Seattle area, I think.
Is he Seattle? Okay, we're decent now, asshole. Okay, so we're decent. Okay, but like you can't tell me that like Mariners haven't been worth their salt since Edgar and Boone.
Is this a Marvel podcast? I'm sorry. Are we getting a little bit off track?
All right. So now I think it's kind of up to debate. Now let's segue into Emma, right? Because we just talked about why don't I just play these 4 characters with Emma. So let's talk about Emma now.
Okay.
So why should you play Emma? Do you play Emma as an X-Men? Do you play Emma? I don't have any table time with Emma.
Okay, so from what I know, so I guess this is all me again. Psylocke and Emma, let's go. Honestly, Psylocke and Emma box is like, if you're looking to buy, what should I spend $50 on this month? Buy the Psylocke and Emma box. Just buy it. It's just a solid box with 2 amazing characters and really good cards. Emma under X-Men with Headmistress. Headmistress is like Avengers Assemble on crack. Like it is like move medium. The only thing that's like a downside of it is you have to play it on her turn. So you play it on her turn, but you can move any other character, like the whole entire team essentially medium, which is insane.
And you can do that with, to me, my X-Men. Like you could even play them both on Emma's
you could
turn,
you could
right?
move
so
short and medium.
Yeah, give people all sorts of like.
Positions. Yeah, no, it's insane. But that's where nuts. I've been playing her is like as like Hellfire Club leader, splash with X-Force, mostly just Hellfire Club leader, because it really shored up a hole for me. Like I've been debating over this for the past ever since we saw her spoiled, and I finally took the leap, and I love her as Hellfire Club leader. She's very much a like when you're playing Voodoo and you try to keep him at a distance because you don't want him to get hit and you feel safe using Brother Daniel. She's like that, but without Brother Daniel, so she's always at risk of just dying. But you want her to be like effectively hitting people with her mystic. Diamond form is a trap. You really only do it like Mike said last week. Like you only do diamond form if like it's gonna win you the game essentially. Like I need to do diamond form because I need to like potentially live through this to win the game, or I need to like teleport or like transport myself over to the secure and score this point. Like you have a reason other than just 2 dice for transforming into diamond form. I will say Shatter is actually really dope when you can pull it off because that's a freaking 7 dice area attack. It's like what a Scotty Song wishes it was.
It's physical though, isn't it?
It's physical, right. But it also has Pierce.
Oh, okay, Pierce is good.
Why can't I see Diamond form on Cerebro? This is annoying.
There's 2 cards. There's the other one. Yeah. But like Steven Swayze says, she's mini cable in a lot of ways. I completely agree with this. But she's like way more supporty, and the fact that she has basically Maw's builder, but it's on like 5 instead of 6 is great. Like doing the crit wild
instead of just wild.
Yeah, hit wild. It's not as easy to hit, but
it's range 4 though. It's not bad.
It's range 4, and I love it. Like it's so great to like line up Logan to hit somebody, or line up Psylocke to hit somebody, or line up whoever. It's great setting up your early rounds. But she's just a support character that throws mystic damage here and there. I don't think she's anything crazy. Where she's crazy is like her overall support for the team. I guess Steven Swayze's right. Like she's like a mini cable in a lot of ways. Like what is she doing for support for your team at the moment? A lot of times it's her cards, whether it be Hellfire Club or Headmistress. I'm not really sold on Mind Transfer yet. I think it's a really cool niche card, but I think it's a kitchen table card, not a I'm going to Nova card.
Yeah, I mean it's up there with like the Magneto second activation.
Yeah,
and
it's too easy to shut off. Like all you need to do is like not activate 2 characters on the same side of the table. That's all you need to do.
Right. Like it's a prisoner's dilemma. Like first of all, which is something that like the further you go in an event, the less that is going to play out in your favor, because better players make better decisions for the most part. And like it, like it's a big commitment for her because you don't actually have control over it. And like you can try to do something, but if your opponent has a better plan or sees through yours, like you just wasted a tactics card, and now you only have 4 of those. You might as well play with a leadership tactic.
But like as far as Emma goes, I would say like she's super fun to play. Hellfire Club is like a blast, and like we've been talking about earlier, like, and we try to answer the question last week or the week before, where it's like, should everybody just splash Emma in Hellfire Club? Like it's I think it's an actual argument. Like, should you take Hellfire Club as a flex because it's actually kind of good.
I'm considering
it's good. I don't think you need it though.
No,
I don't think you need it, but it's like I think it's been the flex for X-Force that I've been wanting.
I look at it, it makes me wonder.
For you, sure, yeah.
Like, I wonder if it's going to be like she's like for the Fury spot and the Commando spot. I could bring Mystique in and have like even more options.
Yeah.
I would lose an affiliation, but gain an affiliation, and then I'd be able to have Mystique and Deception in the roster.
Oh, that's the other thing.
Though.
That's the other thing that
Lose
she
the
has the
Fury
same
grunts.
like rule that Mystique has, that shapeshifter, where you
Yeah.
can't respond,
Ugh.
which is
And then
super
that would give
good.
me Emma, Mystique, and Sleeper Agent Hulk. But I don't think I could actually like make that happen.
I don't think
It's
you
too
can
many
do
points.
that. You can't do
I
that,
could bring
right?
2 of them though. It would give me more flexibility for bringing 2 of them.
Holy Mackinac has the play. If you're running Mystique with her, save Deception, and then Mind Transfer becomes super playable because then you just Deception them into it, then Mind Transfer. That seems like a lot of
Interesting.
work though. Still, it seems like way more work than it's worth.
I mean,
until you do it to like their Hulk or something, I think.
Or Malekith.
Yeah, like you take a big boy off the table for a round, like that's brutal.
Yeah, but like, why not just play Strange?
what?
Because it's dicey.
Yeah.
So you can't play.
damage
You
on
have to
five
play
sides
Strange
would
in
be
Suns.
okay. So
Strange
now what you
in
need
Suns.
to do. So now what you need to do. Okay, so Strange
With
in
Simo.
Suns
With
with
Simo.
Psylocke splash with that card. Now you have bats
there we go.
and Silent Constructs.
Yeah, so now we're spending 5 cards.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
You can do it
We're
in
talking about how it's
competition with
expensive
them,
to do the other thing.
No,
Okay.
no. Now we've overcommitted.
All right. All right. Real talk though. Real talk. Emma, hit or miss? I think she's an absolute hit. I think all of them are
Oh,
hits. Like
absolutely.
lately.
All of these are hits. Like these. This is the.
I'm
fourth
not a huge
Renaissance.
fan of Emma.
That's all
Emma's
I have.
the fourth that I'm the least interested in. But she's still good.
I think you need to play against her.
I have played against her.
Oh really?
Yeah. I played
Well,
against I haven't played opposite, I played against her.
So I played with her and against her, and both times like she's not like a super opposing threat, but what she's enabling is what makes her worth her 4th threat.
She's a toolkit. You're
Yeah.
bringing her in
Yeah.
for her tools.
I like the idea of someone who's half the cost and has a better leadership than Dormammu
Yeah.
and has the same kind of effect.
Honestly, like that leadership is like
It's great. No, it's a really good leadership.
it's so good. So what's really cool with Bill under her is you could still have him not be on a point and have him get hit with the leadership, and he'll still have a power to interact. Like having people who generate 2 power under her is actually kind of nice because you can literally start the game with Emma on like 6 power. And
because you can just do it immediately. Oh,
yeah, and a lot of you have to wait until somebody's end of their activation. But a lot of the reason why you don't do that is because people are on 1 power now; they can't interact. But I also tell you what, like that heal, like just makes characters survive. Like I had one game where it was the end of the game, and I had Red Skull full health healthy, Psylocke full health healthy, and like X-23 full health healthy. Like
You
it
don't
was
get
the end of
extra
the
points
game.
for that. To be
So
clear.
what if so you play Emma, you play Little Tony, you play Baron Mordo. Who else generates power? Play Wong.
Any Asgardian? Why
Yeah,
not
you
just play?
some
Just play Mind Loki.
No, because I'm trying to keep the points low.
Oh, okay.
Then you use the leadership, give Emma a shitload of power. Lockjaw, that's a good one. That's
Lockjaw?
a good one.
Yeah.
I'll map this out later. I'll see what you can do. It might be like a 30 guy Helios.
Hellfire Club is like super fun to play though. Like if anybody has not tried it out yet and you just want to have some fun, like go play Hellfire Club. It's just super fun. Just like literally play your favorite toys and it all works. Like I love playing healing factor characters with her because they just don't die. And if they do die, your opponent had to put so much work into killing that character.
Neat.
It makes the Logan even scarier. I think that's enough talk on Emma though. What we got? Who else came out?
Agent Venom, Spider Woman,
Okay, Agent Venom. This is you guys because I have not really played Agent Venom, but I've played against him.
He's pretty good.
All right. I'll be right back.
He ignores cover, which is the biggest thing. He ignores like dice modifications, so if you're fighting spiders, it's good. I haven't been seeing a lot of spiders, but he is good against spiders. Ignoring cover is the biggest thing. Auto incinerate is fabulous. The card, the foreign assignment card, I think is something that if you're playing Agent Venom without the card, it's probably a mistake because the two most common guardians I really see are Rocket and Star-Lord. I guess Bill, but he doesn't have a thing with Bill. And the effects that he gets with Rocket and Star-Lord are an attack and a move. So he basically gets like a full extra turn. Like a short move and an attack, that's a full turn, right? Or a hit and run attack for 2 power.
For 1 power each, right?
For 2 power each. But like...
Oh, it's 2 power each, okay.
I've never used it with more than one character. I've also never felt like I need to. Huh?
Does he have stealth?
He does not have stealth.
Okay.
Yeah, he has no defensive tech. He's just 4, 2, 3, and he can remove statuses. So he's like not tanky. He folds like a wet paper bag, but he stays at range 4 and he shoots. And it's not like the Guardians had like a shortage of guys who shoot, but for 4 threat, instead of taking like Rocket and Groot at 5, he can be useful sometimes. Like right now, I have a setup where I play Bill, Agent Venom, Star-Lord, and a certain 7 threat character who will not be named at 18, and it feels really good.
That's fair. I guess my question is like, how does he impact webs? Does he like, do you think he opens up an option for actually like killing webs?
No, I think he's really bad in webs. I played against him in webs and he just did nothing. He needs dice fixing to get his power train online because he can do a lot with power. So I think he's a lot better in Guardians.
That's fair.
He's probably great in field too.
My only experience with Agent Venom right now is foreign assignment is like super good, and if you're playing Agent Venom, you play foreign assignment like you said, and then he just folds over like a wet paper bag because I'm playing X-Force and I have a lot of energy attacks.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, you're kind of right there. You've got everything he doesn't want to see. He seems neat. I like that it's the first pairing of like gun ranged attacks and control on the board. And then he's got like web line, so
he
got,
does
like,
have a
range.
size 3 throw, which is really good.
Like how often are you using the web line more like a hit and run almost, or like a charge?
Literally, that's like the main use. It's just action efficiency, right? It's a
yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's better or worse than hit and run, but it is like very similar to those effects.
I mean, it's longer and more versatile, right? So, like in some ways, it is like
it's
exactly better.
Yeah, and it ignores terrain too, right? Not that he cares. He's a web warrior, or he's a wall crawler.
What's his base size?
He's a small
base.
But he's just an efficient little machine. He just runs around shooting people the whole game. It's like with Logan, we were talking about how Logan like doesn't have to use actions after the first turn.
Right.
Agent Venom's pretty much the same way. He'll be shooting twice or web line shooting twice basically every turn, or like move web shot and then move back, which is great. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, that's very strong. It's a very strong kit.
I mean, the worst thing about it is his defense, and like if you're at range 4 all the time, it's not the end of the world.
Right. And Guardians just like everything is better with the winging a token. Like
everything's better. It's true.
You are more consistent. You are literally more consistent.
Mm-hmm. There's no one in the game who can stop you from both rolling offensively and defensively. You will always get value out of it somehow.
Yeah. Well,
cool. Spider-Woman?
Well, Spider-Woman's neat.
Okay, so I feel like she was like in the worst spot because she's a really cool character and I think she's a great 4 threat, but then she instantly got overshadowed by all these amazing 4 threats.
I still think she's very good. Mm-hmm. You just have to. I think she is harder to play than the rest of the 4s.
She's playing the game.
Like, yes, she's playing the game. She's not like running around killing people.
Yeah,
she's super Miles.
She's real fun. She's like, yeah, she's super Miles. You guys watch the cuts.
The long moves, like she's in the same conversation for longest movement in the game, right?
Yeah,
the
double
longest regular movement, right? Yeah, double long move range 2. She's got that. She's got a drop. She's got
interrogate.
A per wild. Like anything that is per wild also, is like, just innately better.
It's a before damage too, so she can like the only other character in the game that I know can do it is Mystique, where you before damage stun someone. That's so gross. It's so gross.
stealth and martial artist, right? Which is kind of like what Black Widow 2 or 3, like, or Agent Widow. It's what Agent Widow like doesn't have going for her, is that she doesn't have the martial artist. She has the stealth, but not the martial artist for the interrogate triggers. So like sometimes for an interrogate trigger, it like the stealth is what you want because now they have to commit to you to actually do something. And sometimes what you want is the martial artist because they're going to activate before you and get an attack or two into you. And martial artist is just way better for that. So she's been fantastic. I think the double agent is a bit of a trap. It can do absolutely amazing things if you're playing it into someone who either doesn't have a plan to play around it or doesn't like expect it to be what it is. But it's also just a card that you can just wind up sitting on sometimes. And if you played it, it had like next to no effect. So I'm not super hot on that card. The fact that she's got a drop is huge. Like anything that makes your opponent drop stuff is big news.
Yeah. When she first came out, my big thought with her was like, I want to run her in like killy lists to basically go clean up and like interrogate. And,
that
like,
is her job.
extract.
That is her exact job in my list.
But
that
like,
and having
but
like
but my issue
affiliations
with her, though, is like, as soon as she came out, so did all these cool things that I want to play more.
right.
Like, I don't care about Spider-Woman when I got Psylocke and Emma. Like, I don't care. She can go. But I do think that she's like in contention for being like up there with the 4 threats. Like Voodoo's like his days in the sun are like not there anymore. He's still a great 4 threat, and people should still be playing him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but like it's so hard to argue to take Voodoo when I could be taking Psylocke and affiliations.
Well, let's fill out the rest of this roster. Right? It's not a tier list. Make a tier list without
what roster are we doing?
Our 9-man baseball roster. Our batting roster.
Oh God! Okay.
Plus Emma and Hellfire Club.
1, 2, 3,
you know we got Bill in there, so
6,
I'm okay
7.
with this.
We got 2 left.
I mean,
We got
Voodoo
2 spots
like
left.
he can fill in the bottom of this, right? Like Voodoo is still.
I feel like batting ninth is Dr. Voodoo, right?
Yeah, he's no longer the essential.
Who's number 8 then?
In every splash.
Who's number 8 then?
It has to be a 4 threat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my boy Vision's still crazy, man.
The issue with Vision is you don't really see him anywhere outside of Avengers.
You're not wrong, but he is still really good.
He's still good, but I think that's the thing is like all of these characters you could take in any affiliation and not feel bad about it. Vision, I agree. I could take him in any affiliation and not feel terrible about it, but I'm not reaching for Vision. Like I would rather go for Rogue or go for Voodoo. I'd even go for Medusa over Vision, to be completely honest, in a lot of cases.
Okay.
Because she's got more control, and typically when I'm reaching for like that last 4, I want like somebody who's doing more than what Vision brings.
What about Venom?
Venom? I think Venom is like way down now, to be completely honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess like the question. So it seems like the reason I asked is because it seems like there's a lot of contention about like basically the last spot. We're calling it the 8th spot, but really it's the last spot because we're just giving 9 to Voodoo.
Fair.
I don't. Man, look at the shelf.
Yeah, who's 4 threats?
Nick Fury. Nick Fury
Dynamo?
Jr. 100. It's
Fury.
No,
Dynamo.
Fury.
Dynamo. Dynamo.
100%
Dynamo.
Fury. Fury should probably be higher on this list. It's definitely Fury.
It probably should be Fury just because we don't have a 4 threat with grunts yet. I know that
And he's
like,
the best
basically
one.
grunts and 4 threats, but like
Elektra.
sorry.
Pass. Anybody playing Elektra? I'm sorry.
It's Fury so much. It's not even funny. Fury's so
okay.
Still so good.
I know, but Dynamo's like the bane of my existence.
That's great. You play kill list. Fury does everything.
Yeah.
He's not tanky, but he has eye.
Fury will help you kill. He'll help you survive. He'll help you win.
Fine. I'll accept Fury, and then I'll say number 10. I'll say our pinch hitter. Our pinch hitter is Dynamo.
Is Dynamo. Yeah, I'll give you
nice. All right, pinch hitter for Dynamo. All right,
it's a good roster of 4 threats. That's a 40 threat list.
So here's a good question since we've just talked about 9 different, like 4 threats and like every other one a little bit. Like, what's a good number of 4 threats to have in your roster and how or why?
Hyper first, go.
Right now, I think I have like 2 or 3. It's like I think at most you have 4. I think 3 is probably the sweet spot right now. I have 3 right now. I think 2, 3, or 4.
I was at one point. I had 5 4 threats in my roster.
I know,
and I was okay with
all in the dojo.
No,
at that time.
I was okay with it. Okay, Sam, your turn. Your turn.
I've got 2 4 threats in my roster. I'm still not really comfortable with more than 3.
Okay, so 2, 3, and I'm gonna say, stop putting a number on these restrictions on yourself because you're really limiting yourself in your list building construction. And like, why not just put in what fits? In my list right now, I'm really happy with 4 4s, and I feel like I can cover all my bases. So
I think 2, 3, 4. The sweet spot's in there somewhere.
Do what fits your list, but if I had to like put a number on it, I think 3 is probably the sweet spot. But like my list right now, I'm really happy with 4 4s.
So I feel like to run 3 4s, you need like either a 4 threat leader, a 5 threat on your team, or to be very comfortable running one of your 3s and 2s. Right, because 17 is still a super common like.
So I'm right.
I mean, you have all of those things. I don't know how many you're putting like. What
and that's why I can run.
Table.
That's why I can run 4 4s because you said that's for 3s. So I have all of them. That means I can run 4 4s.
Yeah. So I mean, Asgard can do it too, right? Because Asgard's got a 5 threat leader, right? Same.
Yeah, same, but different.
Same deal.
But no, in all reality though, it really comes down to like what you want to do with your list. Like I had 3 4s, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw Emma in here and see how this flex feels. So Emma's really only in there for Hellfire Club. So in all reality, I really have 3 4s because Emma never plays under X Force.
So okay, what should a 4 threat bring to the table? Like, what do we ask a 4 threat to bring?
More than one thing.
Okay, that's fair.
Like so, it's like look at Logan. Let's look at let's look at like what Bill is doing. He's survivable and he scores good. Logan, he kills and he scores good. Psylocke, she kills and she scores good.
Like
I guess Logan does 3 things because
scoring good is kind of like I feel like in order to get the scoring good, you
mobile. You want mobile? You want mobility? You want mobility? I'm mobile good.
Sure. I mean, Logan's. I feel like a good 4 threat's got like maybe 3 of these things.
Okay, so Bill
or even
is
more.
Okay. So Bill, mobility, survivability,
control,
and throws. So control, control.
It's too many metrics. Like, let's be honest. But
okay, that's
for real.
They're just good, they're good.
Yeah, they're just things that make. And also, again, for Bill, if you attack him, it's almost always a mistake to attack him because he just walks towards you.
Do you want your 4 threat or 4 threats to exemplify your game plan? Is that something we can say that we want from our 4 threats? Like,
I think a lot of your game plan is like you're bringing your 4 threats. Yes, what you just said. Your 4 threats are there to like enhance what you're already doing.
Yeah, like this is what my game plan is, so I brought this 4 threat.
Like I'm trying to kill you, I'm bringing Logan. I'm
trying to be tough and score out. I brought Bill. Okay.
Or I want the option to be tough and score out, so Bill's here as for certain games. Like for me, I only pay Bill on certain games where I need somebody who's going to survive and not get incinerated by demons.
So when I can't play Bill, I'm sad. I play Bill almost every game.
When I can't play Psylocke, I'm sad, and that doesn't happen because I play Psylocke every game, whether it feels good or not.
My 4 threats are for flexibility because I'm playing a taller roster, so like my 4 threats are like 2 threats.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like my 4 threats are like my 3 threats for my list because it's like, what is the tech piece that I need? And like, do I need Bill? Do I need Logan? Do I need Psylocke? Or do I need to go Hellfire Club and take Emma and take all of the above? So like for me, it's like my 4 threats are my tech piece for the specific matchup.
There's a lot of tech pieces, yeah.
But more often than not, it's Cable, Logan, Psylocke as the core. And then I take 3s from there.
Gross.
It's so nasty. All right, D shape, Cable takes home, Logan go left or right, Psylocke take the other way. All right, I have a 3 threat, probably going with Psylocke. Here we go. I hate the fact though that it's like very like same from game to game, but I also enjoy it because I'm so practiced with it now at this point. It's fun. Anybody who wants to play X-Force, just give it a shot. Cable, Logan, Psylocke, do it.
Same. What was your Asgard roster like? Variations, Hyper. Like, did you like?
Oh, like the Deep Castle.
Yeah, like what's the baseline, right? Like, I don't want to call it a core, but like, what's your like? I almost always brought these, or I brought literally the same characters every game with one of them maybe rotating in and out.
It was pretty often Thor, Bill, Bucky. they were in there a lot. And if it was something like
Okay.
intrusions or I needed to fight a lot, it was like Bill, Thor, and Scourge was the baseline. I played a lot of Bill, Loki, Thor, and Bucky Pyro at like 19. That was really fun. That like exemplified the list. That was like what I wanted to be doing. Like it's really hard to walk into. I have my Loki bubble going on. I have roots everywhere. I have Bucky shooting you. I have Bill being tanky. I have Thor throwing shocks out. That was really fun.
Okay. I think we've hammered 4 threats pretty
I think we're
hard.
good.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
let's
fun.
bring Hulk to the party. Hyper Viper. Why do I want to play Hulk over Hulk?
Big Hulk better than Little Hulk after round 1. Little Hulk still better than Big Hulk round 1.
But why?
Because 2-cost throw OP.
I can't
Pick up
that.
it's just the fact like he has the best throw in the game.
What you see a lot of people talk about with Immortal Hulk is like he just doesn't die. Do you think this is true?
I mean, he can totally die. Like you bring like a Malekith into him, he'll kill him for sure. Like
I'd argue he's actually easier to kill than regular Hulk. Would you agree?
I disagree with that. Because if you spike Hulk and daze him, it's over. If you spike Immortal, he gets one more chance.
Is he not immune to stun Immortal?
He's immune to stun and poison. They have this, like, he's basically
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
yeah.
because I was like, what if I just stun him with Psylocke and kill him? No, he's just
They
dead.
learned their mistake with that like a long time ago.
Okay, but like real talk though, like 15 health is like on paper easier to shoot through than 20. Like math makes sense.
It's an entire activation less health.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
it is, for sure.
So why? I guess the argument would be like I'm sitting here and I'm literally like chewing into the same character over and over and over again, like an endless cycle. What's that called? I can't think of what it's called right now. Insanity, I guess. Doing the same thing over and over again and get the same results.
Yes, the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
So would you say attacking Immortal Hulk is declaring you're insane?
I think attacking either like. Unless you have an attrition-focused team and you have some real heavy hitters, attacking Hulk period is just a mistake, right?
But like, okay, but the thing is, he's doing 7-die builders with a 2-cost throw. Like, you don't need to attack him to let him do his thing. So what's disincentivizing you from attacking him?
He gets the 6-threat Hulk. If you like piecemeal him away, if you give him 1 or 2 extra dice, he will just kill you.
No, I agree with that, but I mean Immortal Hulk. Like I agree. I'm disincentivized to attack regular Hulk unless I know I'm gonna kill him.
Right.
Immortal Hulk, I feel like he's one that I'm okay with like ticking, and like as long as I'm doing like worthwhile tick, like I'm not gonna go like round 1 or turn 1 and try to like throw 10 damage into him because by the end of the round he'll be fully healed. But like maybe have a cleanup at the end of the round to where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can daze him.
Like side A Hulk, like whatever, you're just powering him up, basically.
Yeah.
And
But it's like, but what's
you want him to spend that power? So if he hasn't activated yet, then like doing a bunch of damage into him is maybe less bad than it might be into a lot of other characters because you're just you're powering him up, but you literally want him to spend his power.
But that's what I'm saying though, is like what is disincentivizing me from just attacking Immortal Hulk and taking him out?
I think the play pattern with Immortal is different because with regular Hulk you want to activate him later, and with Immortal you can activate him early because he doesn't get extra dice, so you can like dive super hard with like the double leap off the card and his gamma leap, like, do some gamma bursts on people and just try and like kill key targets. I think Immortal is more of a like. Or he can play a much more of an assassin role than regular Hulk. Like he's much more comfortable going burst and just trying to blow someone up. Like Gamma Burst, the spike potential on 10 dice is obscene. The auto throw is obscene. The range 3 is obscene. At worst, you hit them, they don't gain power, and you throw them away from you, right? That's at worst. At best, they just die.
And he's got the double leap. That he can
double
do.
leap is on the big base too. He goes so far,
and the fact that he throws off of his builder like that. Like,
okay.
If I was looking for a 7th threat, would I reach for Immortal Hulk or Malekith?
Or
depends on what
Thanos.
you need. Or Mind Thanos. That's very true. I
think. Okay, to be fair, I think Malekith and Immortal Hulk are performing more similar roles than Thanos.
I completely agree. I think Malekith and Immortal are much more similar than Thanos. Thanos is like a control piece.
People say that Little Hulk is a control piece, and
Little Hulk
Hulk
can be a control piece. Immortal can be a control piece. Malekith can be a control piece, right? He does have ferocity throw. He does have phantasmagoria, whatever the fuck.
So I mean, the only thing that Immortal Hulk doesn't have that Little Hulk does is the 2-cost throw. He literally has all the same tools, debatably even better because they're throws instead of pushes.
The Gamma Burst is a better spender, in my opinion.
Yeah, so, like I feel like his control level is just as high as Little Hulk's control level.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
power.
That's what I'm saying. Where after turn 1, Big Hulk is just like overall, I think better, because he has the same tools. Is, in my opinion, tougher to kill because you can come back from a daze. You can recover from at least 1 spike. Yeah, so I think after round 1, Immortal is better. Round 1, Hulk is still, there's no other character in the game that can interact and throw on any single list in the game.
I think the spot where Immortal Hulk like really excels in this comparison is that Immortal Hulk can dive, do his damage, even if he gets like the daze KO, if he hasn't activated, he can get far enough away. And then he'll be healed up enough by the time anybody else can get to him. So he can do that thing where you grab you do all the damage, you grab the extracts or whatever, and then you just dip out.
Yeah, you come in, you fuck shit up, and you leave.
And then he's gonna heal and heal and heal and heal. And they're gonna have to chase after him.
And again, like 15, sure, it's 1 activation worth of abilities, but like, how many games do you see Hulk consistently get the 15 damage? Because for me, that's not often. And if they do daze him, I mean, like, it happens, right?
Because that's because people don't want to juice up like Little Hulk. Because
you don't want to juice up Immortal either.
But that's my argument.
Though.
But why don't I want to juice him up? Like, there's he's gonna do whatever he wants, regardless if I juice him up or not, because he has the power already.
There's a big difference. There's a huge difference between like a 6 threat Hulk with 3 power a turn and no damage, and the 6 threat Hulk with 8 power and 8 damage on him, throwing out 7 die beams if he needs to. There's a huge difference there. The beam stuff starts to get wild. Like when you can just like clap back and kill an entire team. I've had games where like Hulk is on his own on a flank against 11 threat with a character, and very similar to Logan. Like they'll beat him up. He'll have like 3 extra dice. He'll gamma leap forward, clap twice, and they're all dead. Like that just backbreaking. It's so hard.
So what you're saying is I just need to run Logan on one flank, Immortal Hulk on the other flank, and Kiki.
In this case, it'd be Logan and OG Hulk because they both have.
and Psylocke and Cable. Yeah, and then you got an affiliated X-Force squad.
No, you don't.
Logan's not affiliated.
Logan's not affiliated? What?
That's X-Men with no leader. It's leaderless X-Men.
There you go. Who cares?
Or you throw Emma in there. But I guess so we got people gonna be asking like, how do I deal with Immortal Hulk then? What is the secret sauce for Immortal Hulk?
You got a team.
Yeah, I think like it's similar to regular Hulk, where you pile on the statuses. Like he really doesn't like root. He really doesn't like being thrown. So like Bill, Pyro are good into him. He doesn't like steals. He doesn't like I think people are still sleeping on characters like Enchantress who can just move people off. Because Juggernaut's cool, but Juggernaut I don't think is as popular as he once was. I think Juggernaut's popularity is slowly decreasing. So like the whole like, oh, we can't run bow characters anymore because Juggernaut's everywhere. I think that period of time might be.
What is it bow characters? It was literally her because he just gains power to shoot through her shield.
To be fair, I think Mr. Sinister is extremely like gas under Emma.
Sinister is a cool guy. I like Sinister.
I think Sinister and Hellfire Club is actually pretty.
Oh yeah, because you can get the 2 immediately.
Yeah.
Just get the power you need to do stuff. He's neat. I like Sinister, period.
And Cloning Banks might actually be playable in Hellfire Club.
Didn't make our 4 threat batting order, but it's fine.
That's because he can't. He's
Sinister,
right? Okay. Sinister is like Sinister is the pitcher, so he can't bat.
I did
American League team.
I love Sinister. I do remember the one time I saw him played against me personally. He had 3 of those -1 tokens, and I one-shot him through all 3 of them because I was playing Corvus with Thanos. So that's more Corvus's fault than his, but yeah, it was still sad.
I had him take down a Dr. Voodoo and cover with double beams. I mean, like,
I love Sinister. Like when I can find a reason to play Sinister, I really latch on to the list. Like my Malekith list, I ran Sinister as much as I could. That's because he actually felt good there. Like I might run like mono Hellfire.
Yeah.
I might run like Malika Sinister and Emma as the base for the list building, but I'm on my X-Force train. I can't get distracted. All right, I think that's enough talk on Immortal Hulk. Do you want to get into some listener questions?
Sure. I thought I had one.
Oh, you have one more?
I thought I did, but
I also I want to say this real quick, just like where we have a little lull. A big part of why I'm playing Guardians is because most of my Guardians are actually painted. We can move on now.
That's fair.
Nice.
I will accept that. Okay. From Barncat, how the fuck do I beat the Pope when they call a crusade against me in CK3? I've won like 100 battles and killed so many damned foreign rulers. My response to this is, what are you even talking about? Because I don't know any of these references.
It's Crusader Kings, and it's a great game. And I agree with like one of the listener answers to that question, which is like just play Europa Universalis 4. You don't have to deal with any popes.
These are real words, right?
Man, I haven't played these games since I had kids. They're what do they call them? Like screen starers or map starers, right? Because like it's just like it's you against the world basically.
So it's like Civ.
Yes, but it's way more political than Civ.
Yeah, it's about that kid's the one where you like have a bunch of incest babies, right? That's
Crusader Kings is the one where like you build up an entire like country
civilization.
Basically. Yeah.
Okay, is this free to play? Because I'm kind of interested.
It's not free to play. It's a super fun game, but it's great. But I believe it's getting close to end of life if it's not already.
Never mind then.
There will. I would be very surprised if there is not a CK3.
Fair.
And when there is, it'll be amazing.
Okay. There we go. From Twisted Isles, MCP content creators playing weird and wacky lists to feel alive are like drug dealers who start by dipping into their own supply and have moved on to harder drugs for the same reason. Do you agree or disagree? I disagree because my only drug of choice is X-Force.
I think it's a funny joke, but like I don't quite follow it because I'm an idiot. That's like I don't like hear that and like just,
basically.
Like,
do you think content creators are pushing like not meta to? That's what I got from it. Is like, win. Do you think not necessarily to win, but like
guys, play X-Force, bro. Do it.
Yeah, play bad stuff.
Okay, MCP content creators playing weird and wacky lists to feel alive are like drug dealers who start dripping into their own supply and have moved on to harder drugs for the same reason. I guess I don't know. I don't really know how to take it.
I took it differently. I took it more like I don't know. You've played a lot of the same thing, or you've played a lot of really good stuff. So you start to venture into stuff that like maybe you don't have a very strong opinion of, or like you don't think is like, you know, optimal or the best or whatever else. And so you like start to play other stuff. Maybe it's like an experience playing the game kind of a thing, because like you're making content about it. So at least in theory, you're maybe paying more attention to the game than some other people you might play or play against. I don't know. It's that's interesting space to explore.
Yeah.
I like playing weird and wacky lists, but I wouldn't say it's just to feel alive.
That's fair. All right, Joey Edge. I've been hearing a lot of the internet's boo-hooing about deception, either changing the card some way or even rotating it out. This seems a bit drastic, especially coming from people that play Web Warriors. Deception is kind of annoying, but it's definitely not game-breaking. Thoughts? My thoughts... Oh, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Joey, do you play Brotherhood?
Yes.
By any chance, tell me you play Brotherhood without telling me you play Brotherhood.
I'm pretty sure Joey's favorite affiliation is Brotherhood. And I
spent a lot of time defending Thanos, so
it's your turn. Pass the torch.
Right? Like, I get it. Yeah.
Okay, so
no, maybe
I don't think it's broken either.
Card. I don't know.
But there's ways to play around it. Like, what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna go round one, turn one, and grab a center line if I see him as seeking across the board. Am I gonna sacrifice VPs? Potentially, but maybe not. Are they going to get deception later on in the game? Maybe, but more than likely, if I don't give it to them round one, it might just be a dead card.
Well, you don't need a center grab, right? You need an answer for a center grab. Sometimes that answer is a center grab.
Logan. Oh, sorry.
Sometimes that answer is not. Sometimes that answer is something else entirely. That's just like an answer for theirs. Yeah, like
let's play Logan. Bill.
Bill.
But I think that there's enough characters in the game that can get around deception now that I don't really think that deception needs to be nerfed or changed or rotated or anything like that.
I think if you do that, Mystique becomes a lot worse.
I think Mystique becomes unplayable. Like,
I don't know about
would you
unplayable a lot
like
worse.
would you
with
play
Deception if it was range 2? Because that would be my proposed
Range
fix.
2?
If I had
Range 4 is
I had
pretty
to throw in that.
ridiculous. Yeah, if it were
Okay,
range 2,
if-
it'd be
Just
good.
make it range 2. It's
if I
martial
could-
arts range.
I would too.
visual
I would
range.
I would still use it though,
Yeah,
because
good.
I'm still doing the same exact thing, and Mystique has stealth. So
It should be usable, and she has martial artists too. So if
Yeah.
I'm within 2 of you and I move you
but
towards
card
me, you should still
but
be within range
card
2 of me.
but card and Mystique as is, I don't think it's game breaking. I don't think it's like toxic. I also don't think
It's
Centers
toxic
is
for sure.
toxic.
It's
free.
100% toxic. Yeah.
Anything
No.
that's free in this game is scary. So got to get some air, free.
Mhm.
Deception, free. Like
If they
just
cost
free,
1, I'd stop
free.
complaining. Yeah.
If it had to be on her activation.
Okay, so
like,
but if it costs
I don't
if
know,
it
it's
costs
all too
one
much.
though, like there's so many different places, even her own leadership, where
Oh, yeah.
it costing 1 does absolutely nothing.
That's
'Cause she can
fine.
still do exactly
under
what she
her
The
own
wants.
leadership,
the problem
I
is
feel like
not-
makes way more
yeah.
sense.
The Splash Mystique is everywhere. Like I'm playing Mystique and Guardians right now. And Deception, like she's functionally a 3-threat turn 1 Thanos who like
Okay, maybe-
like Mind Stone Thanos, and then for the rest of the
maybe-
game does not do that.
I don't know. Maybe I just feel different about it because I don't feel the heat ever from Deception when I'm playing my list. I really don't. Like I don't feel like I'm scared of Deception.
It just makes you, if you have just if ever like say it's like Legacy, like a C, right? It's all middle stuff, and I have a safe grab.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna safe grab, and then if you don't move up and grab it, I will. And if you move up and grab it, I will deception
Okay.
you. It's a
Let me give
forever.
you a hot take or
Sure.
a rather cold take that's like probably a moldy sandwich in the fridge because how cold it is. X-Force Cat and Mouse is like anti-deception. Like it's
Oh yeah, for sure.
like maybe that's why I'm like the
Yeah,
way I
'cause
look
you
at
have
it.
an answer for it. You have a daisy chain set up already, for sure. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Or like grunts are so popular in the game
Grunts.
that it really gets around it. Like there's so many different
Yeah, grunts
answers
are
in the
great
game that
against
most
deception.
people are already taking in their list one way or another, whether it be a skull grunt, a fury grunt, daredevil grunt, taking a character with eyes on the prize like Bill, a lawn mover like Angela. Like there are so many different ways around deception though that I don't really think that it's like as toxic as it is made out to be, to the fact that it needs to be rotated out or restricted.
I have more of an issue with Shapeshifter than I do with Deception. I will say that.
That I agree with. I hate Shapeshifter. Like that rule is bonkers to have printed on a character. I would rather have something like Sleeper Agent, where it's like an affiliated tactic card that you're not seeing everywhere, versus something like Shapeshifter or Emma's ability. Because now I have 2 characters that I could take in the same list and be affiliated, and in 2 different ways actually. 'Cause she's Brotherhood too, isn't she? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love AMG. I love AMG so much. They're like, hey, have an extra copy of Brace. Hey, have another copy of Brace. Cool.
You're gonna
cool.
need this.
You know who I
Here's
am?
Emma.
Yeah.
Here's Sleeper Agent Hulk. Here's Emma.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I think there's way more things in the game that are bigger issues than just deception.
So I feel like the real problems of deception are the feels bads that just come along with your models not being where you left them. You're like, I put him here. Oh, he's not there anymore. That's like baseline, like just feels bad, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not where I wanted my model to be. Okay, you can learn your lesson, you can move on, you can hate MCP, or you can be like, I'm going to figure out how to play around deception. Like those are your
Play
options.
X-Force.
So like it's a question that you have to like find a way to answer. The other problem is that it shuts down almost any non-safe grab turn 1.
Yeah.
And if you're also going to back that up with something like a Magneto or a Malekith or one of, half a dozen other
There's
real
so many
heavy
characters
hitters.
in the game that can just like one-shot people nowadays.
Right.
Yes.
So now, like anybody who goes to the center line is in this deception range. So it's the
And
same
danger.
kind of feels bad, right? So the feels bad is it's moving you around. The second feels bad is if I'm considering playing around that, then I am thinking about it during roster construction. So now I have to have an
But-
answer for Mystique and Deception baked into my roster. That
Okay,
is not a
okay.
reactive tactics card.
Okay.
Or
Let me
ability.
take you back to about a year and a half ago where this was Thanos.
I
and
know.
how
Tell
you-
me all about it, right? Like defending.
Thanos is 8 threat.
I was going to say you sounded exactly like me defending Thanos.
but here's the thing though, right? So like I don't know, like my big thing on it is you're talking about roster construction, but it's also in the game decision. Like,
Yeah.
you see so many people that say, "Oh, I got by deception." Well, no, you walked right into it. You saw they had Mystique, you saw they had deception, and you still grabbed the center line.
I mean, we're not talking about like folks who just haven't played against it before. We're not talking about people who just don't understand the card. We're talking about it in like a competitive standpoint where it is like Mystique and Deception are. We don't have the list data yet because I don't know. I think some people have it, but I don't. For TTS Top Cut, where it's like that is in almost every list. Mystique Deception, like it is. That's happening, right? Like that is something we need to talk about.
I'm thinking. I mean, I'm looking at it for mine, right? If I switch over to Hell, if I switch to Hellfire, like there's no reason why I shouldn't do that.
Are you talking about switching again, Sam?
No. I'm talking about adding, I'm talking about adding Emma in the Nick Fury spot in my roster.
Oh, okay. I think you should do it.
And Mystique in the Commando spot.
I think you should. I think you should do it. It's super fun. Hellfire is a blast to play.
Anything that heals Thanos makes me happy. So
that's fair.
Right?
The Purple King is here.
It's just such a fun, like, Hellfire Club is so much fun. But no, like, okay. I'll agree. The fact that it is talked about so much and the fact that I need to alter my list, like, this is a consideration in list construction is something that makes it something that's like, yes, it is.
That makes it a pillar, right? The question is, like, is the pillar too strong? Right. I
don't think it's too strong though. Like, I think it's a pillar of the game, but I don't think it's too strong.
So it's a gear.
I think it should cost. Like, I just think it should cost one. That's like my big thing. You know.
I agree, but I don't think it should be rotated out or restricted or anything like that.
I say no. I don't think it should be gone. I think it's fine to be in the game.
No deception makes me super sad. To be
no deception,
in my opinion.
But like the range 4, the fact she's a long mover. Like, you just put Mystique in the center of the board at deployment, right? Yeah, just make it a different range. Because right now it is just like...
Okay, so I'll agree with that. Yeah. I'll say either if we could write the rules, which we have no power over.
That's right. Or influence on.
But AMG, if you are listening...
I asked for another Hulk, and they made another Hulk, so I think I'm in charge.
AMG, I mean, to be fair, you straight up asked them in an interview, and they gave you an answer right then and there that there is one coming.
Well, they already said
that's what beta ray bill.
Did they already? Oh, they did. That's right. I forgot about that.
We were confirming.
Okay. But anyways, if we had any influence on if AMG is listening, I would agree either change the range limit or put a 1 cost on it, and then Deception's perfectly fine.
I like the range more than I think about it.
I like the range. I like the range more than the power cost.
Range 2 seems super good. I say range 2 and a power. F that.
No, just one.
Yep. Now let's
okay. While we're at it,
come on.
While we're at it, no.
Times, okay?
No. While we're at it, Cosmic Portal was returned. While we're at it,
no.
We're not talking about Thanos right now.
No. Don't make a Thanos that I can't
nerf so many times. Please. Yeah,
I've already had 3 nerfs to this guy.
All right, let's move on. I think we talked about this enough. We've had enough discourse. We don't discourse here very often.
You had a question.
On this, I don't know why, but
question.
Wait. I feel. Oh, I forgot all about that. Thank you. But I feel like I'm gonna get a comment from Omnis that says, "I love the discourse. You guys need to do it more often."
Dude, Thanos, like.
Anyways.
I'm sorry. So many nerfs. I'm literally playing him as a restricted card.
Perfectly balanced. As all things should be.
All right. From Big Al, why don't most mystic attacks ignore cover? They are mental attacks. Why should a card between us make your mental toughness better? Jonah replied in the chat, they're not necessarily mental. It includes magical attacks like magical pulse, etc. That's why they're called mystic, not psychic. The real answer from myself is I'm not a game designer, and I don't like. I think it's just like for balance, like rock paper scissors. Like if you have like
the deadly daggers of Davroth hit the car on their way to you, you know, like.
But to be fair though, like attacks that like canonically or in the like comics, you would think not be affected by cover. Straight up say this attack ignores cover.
Yeah.
So like they do consider that on certain attacks. So there's a combination of things to answer your question. What do you guys have to say?
I think like either it's something that is like coming from somewhere, in which case it should hit whatever is going to provide cover, regardless of the type of attack, or it should say ignores cover.
Yeah.
And maybe more mystic attacks should ignore cover, like especially the psychic ones. I feel like Professor Xavier or like
that was exactly what I was going to talk about. Is Xavier
like that shouldn't matter. There shouldn't.
Well, Emma, in that case, Emma should be have no cover on hers.
I mean,
I disagree because she's not as good as Xavier.
That's fair. All right, Chubby Chalupa, how much terrain would you consider on a table to be light or crowded? How many pieces of each size do you think should be on a table? As people who like dealt with the TTS League / dealing with the TTS League still, this has been like a hot topic for I don't know the past 3 years.
Do you want Brotherhood to win your event?
I think we settled on a really good number and a system of doing it to where we look at total terrain size count, and we look at what it's like 26 to 32. I think. I think that's what it is. I don't remember what it is, but
32?
Yeah, I think 30. It might be 34. Is that a 32 or 34? Is like the max that we like allow for TTS.
That just sounds like a lot, but I'm sure it's not actually a lot.
No, it's really not. Especially when you think like if you have one size 5 that's not throwable, it's taking up like almost a third.
It's a lot of your allowance. Like one to 4. Like the guidelines they put out are pretty legit. I tend to use those. It's like 1 to 4 ones, 3 to 6. 3 to 6 twos.
Well, Jonah posted in the that's really weird that he has like one picture for one. Is this a different Jonah?
I don't think so. I think he just changed his picture recently.
But it should change it for all of his pictures. Yeah, that's Jonah. That's still Jonah. Anyways, he posted a Battlefield setup like with the AMG official what they do. For TTS leagues, we officially decided for map creation. Like I want to say it's 26 to 32 or 34. I can't remember which one it is. 26 being like the low end and then 34 being the high end. And this is like total terrain size count. So if I have like a 5, 3 4s, 2 3s, I add up all those and it ends up in that number. And this really felt to be like a really good spread to have a light map and a heavy map for what we were doing, because there was a lot of conversation with like, is heavy terrain maps like favoring Malekith too much? Or not Malekith, but Magneto.
Yeah,
I think that's fine. Magneto needs more help. Not
the
doing
more
so
3s
well.
and 4s you have on the table, like he's so much more effective.
Okay,
that's good.
Okay, that was the last listener question. I have my question. I'm gonna ask hyper quick. I know we're going really long on this one, but I really want to. I was listening to a podcast today from the car game I play, and there was a thing that was brought up, and like, should you be able to have things before they're actually released? Like I know TTS has really kind of gone away from doing it where they only do stuff on street date, but like this card game just had something come out for like this next set that's coming out. They're like basically on an online client like 2 to 3 weeks before the actual set comes out, and we struggled with this on TTS for the longest time of should we include stuff before its actual street date or not. Do you think it gives an unfair advantage for competitive gamers? Do you think it's cool to be able to decide what you want to buy and don't buy? Like, what are your hot takes on being able to essentially play on TTS?
I think that essentially throws me off. But I think for the league, because we kind of like when these leagues start, I think it should be whatever's legal at the start of the league towards the end. And that's not exactly true. How do I want to phrase this? I think stuff should not be allowed until you can get forum questions answered. And for Top Cut, I know like we have set lists, and so that's like as it is right now. I think that's fine. Like being able to fuck around in the beginning stuff, I'm not a huge fan of. I kind of like locked lists, but it's whatever. As soon as we get the Top Cut and it's locked list, that's also fun. I also end up playing locked lists anyway myself, just unless I get really bored, or something new comes out like Bill. But yeah, I think until forum questions can be answered, that's like my biggest gripe.
And I completely agree with that. But do you think that like the conversation that they were having about the card game, right? Is it fair for people who actually play on TTS to like have this advantage of where we like played with Psylocke for the past, like I played with Psylocke for basically the past what?
Absolutely. You can proxy in real life if you're not lazy.
Yeah, and absolutely. That's like one of the arguments that they made is you can absolutely proxy, and people who are tryhards and want to are going to proxy still regardless of like if it's available to them or not. They're going to make a way. That's what competitive people do. But like, is it fair to the company to do stuff like this?
Fuck capitalism, first of all.
Fair.
So, yes, it's fair. People, I mean, like, you should be able to play before you buy, right? Like, video game demos are kind of like a dead art form, but like,
Yeah.
you should be able to try things out before you buy the car.
Well,
If you
that's something
want to
that
play
like
Psylocke and Psylocke's not your cup of tea, don't buy the
yeah.
box. Like, there's a
Oh,
ton
it's
of shit
boxy
that I
stuff,
haven't
magic.
bought that I'm never gonna buy, right? Like,
But that's also goes the other way that they brought this up too, where it's like it goes the other way too, where it's like, oh, I had no intentions of buying this box, but now I'm absolutely buying this box because I tried it on
then
TTS. And
But like,
Great
what are you
job,
taking
you
away
know?
from them too, right? Like this
Yeah.
is where it starts to get there for me. Is like I don't think we're taking anything away
no.
from the game by
And like,
having an
for this
early
game
release,
specifically, like, for Marvel specifically, COVID would have killed this game without TTS. This game
Yeah.
owes a debt of gratitude to TTS. I don't think we could ever, until TTS starts like charging us money, I don't think we can say a damn thing bad against them, and that's not going to happen, right?
It's that there's a client, right? Like somebody's making money off the game that like isn't them, but like it's not. I'm like,
I don't think. I mean,
a few
TTS makes like
thousand
$20
people around
per
the world,
person,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, like that like paid $20 for TTS. I don't think are like
Well, that
throwing
and
off the metrics.
I know so many people that said like I wouldn't have even gotten to this game if it wasn't for TTS.
It couldn't
That's
have
real.
kept my attention.
yeah.
Like I bought a bunch of stuff before I left when we
So-
moved during the
so
pandemic.
You had
but,
no one
like,
to play with over the pandemic, right?
right? Yeah.
Well, I guess would you say that like TTS is almost like a necessary evil in this day and age of tabletop gaming?
I say, why don't you want TTS? Why wouldn't you want this kind of access? Like, I understand, like, as a player, like, so if this is a complaint as a player to be like, I'm not getting access to things. Well, like, dude, there's no barrier to entry here. Like, we're talking about like $20, and
And a
more,
laptop.
more often than not, it's $10. It's on
right,
sale
exactly.
all
It's
the time.
constantly on sale. Like, if you have bad timing, it's $20. But like outside of that, like, all you're getting is access to a community of like-minded players, and you're getting more opportunities to play a game you enjoy. Like, that's the thing for me that's like, why wouldn't you want this? Both as like, I understand maybe not wanting to like have like, hey, you don't have to buy anything, you can just play online. But like, I think that like thinking about the online leagues as being anything more than just people who want to play the game more, being able to play the game more, is a mistake. I think that as fun as it is, as much as I love it, as much as I love being a part of it, like as a player and as an organizer, I love that it's like basically for nothing. We have no pricing, we have no anything. The only thing you get out of this is more time to play. And I think that
The fact that
that's
it
where,
consistently gets hundreds of people playing.
yeah,
Dude, it's just like people want to be good at this game. People love the weekly games. Like, it's so much fun. Like, the past like 3 seasons at TTS, I haven't been super interested. Like, even last LVO, I was kind of like, oh, I'll play something. It'll be fun. Now that I just like, now I'm back where I'm like, I just want to win the next one. That'd be cool, right? And that's how everyone gets every once in a while. It's such a cool, like, a window to have, right?
yeah.
Like a chance to play with genuinely the best players in the world all play on TTS. I don't know anyone who's considered to be like a top player even in their area who doesn't also occasionally at least hop on TTS
They're
to
out
play.
there. No, they're definitely out there. There
I know there are
very
some
good
killers
players
out there, but
who
yeah.
don't touch this at all. And like,
I know like Omnis doesn't touch TTS. Like, and I don't think. Okay, do you think having people who play on TTS versus not TTS have an advantage?
It's
only
just more
because they're
practice.
playing more. They're playing
Yeah.
more against a more diverse spread of players, rosters, like and like they're just having more opportunities to play more better game. Like,
Well, let's say it does create bad habits, though.
what are the bad habits? Like just being sloppy with your tools in real life.
Depth perception.
Like, if anything, it makes you like a nitpickier player that you just can't like accomplish in real life. There are things in real life that like you basically like just have to accept, and you don't have to accept those things in TTS. And there are things
Well,
like it's,
yeah, like the main reason why I brought this up was like, again, like I was listening to the podcast and they were talking about how basically like the pros and cons, basically this exact conversation, but like for cards.
sure.
It's like what it really comes down to it is like, even if like TTS did or didn't do what they were doing, like somebody's still going to find a way to do exactly like the most competitive minded people are going to be shadowboxing, and they're going to be literally setting up a table on their kitchen table and doing exactly themselves the exact same
They're
thing.
just gonna proxy stuff, and they're gonna play against like one of the things that I've done for like every game I've ever played is try to practice in a meta, right? So if I'm going to an event in 2 weeks and there are models that are spoiled for like an event there are models that are spoiled that aren't going to be legal at that event, I don't want to play with or against those models. I only want to play the things that are like in this like meta pocket. And then once I start reading for the next one, I would love to know as much as I can about what's going to be available at that next one. I don't know. I think it's all
I agree. I want to hit on Steven Swayze and we'll probably close out. Steven Swayze says, I doubt I would have gotten in, not even because of TTS, but because the TTS community and content was popping off, it got on my radar. And being able to just watch other people's games really got me into it. When I say not because of TTS, I mean would not have ever wanted to play that first, but because all the content was constantly covering the latest season, it kept the game exciting. And then he's not so sure about the diversity. But I just really think that, like, especially in this day and age of like the technology we have and the options available to us, like it's almost like it makes it nice. Like, cause I remember like War Machine and Guild Ball, like we had like a Vassal client, but that thing was like, literally Vassal. But like TTS is like you're literally playing the tabletop on computer. But I think. I do think if anybody say like TTS gives certain people an advantage, I think is wrong because people who are doing it anyways for an advantage would be doing it anyways in their homes. I do think it gives people the opportunity to decide if they want to try before they buy or even find out and test different things and want to buy more things. I don't think it takes anything away from the game or the miniature community at all. I think if anything, it actually adds to it. And I think that's kind of the biggest reason why it's still kicking.
I think so. I think that if I was running a company, that's something that I would like. I'd be fine sitting in the background. I would not feel like it's hurting me.
Oh yeah, like I'm surprised they haven't brought the fucking TTS folks on realistically. But I'm also like they're doing that work for free, so it's not a huge reason to.
My imagination leads to like legal things more than likely. They because if you haven't noticed, like AMG doesn't acknowledge or unacknowledge TTS.
Sure, but there are like official DLC mods for TTS. I don't want this to happen, to be clear. I love what we have right now. But would I pay for a Marvel mod if it was the only option? Yeah, no shit, we all would. But I'm not saying they should do that. I'm just saying like
absolutely should, and I'm glad that they have.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have any other closing thoughts before we get out of here?
I have one, but I lost it. Yeah, be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other.
What you want.
Rest in peace, Lance Vidic.
But I don't know who Lance Vidic is.
Yeah, you do. Lance Vidic. You'll Google him and you'll recognize his face. It's fine. Move on.
No, I want to do this like right now.
Man, I had something too and I lost it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He passed away earlier this week.
The Wire.
You don't know? Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember seeing that now. Yep. I absolutely do.
Yeah.
And I did the exact same thing. I was like, who? Oh, wow.
No, I love Lance Vidic. Well,
all right. Yeah. Well, now I'm sad. With that,
sorry.
We have been the Rogue Agents. And you have been the Hulks.
Perfectly.
How many?
Two Hulks.
Maximum effort. In this war, there's no surrender. He's out of line.
Oh,